Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Dolphins pick up the fifth-year option on quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. That guarantees his $23.4 million salary for 2024. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy had surgery today on a torn ligament in his right elbow. He got hurt in the first quarter of the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Purdy should be able to start throwing in about 3 months. So what will the Jets do if they don't get Aaron Rodgers? Peter King from Football Morning in America believes they might turn to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Garoppolo will get a lot of attention early on, but and I'm sure the Jets are going to want to know the answer from Aaron Rodgers no later than Sunday night.
Peter King. ESPN has learned Georgia Tech will fire basketball coach Josh Pastner after 7 seasons with the Yellow Jackets. World number 1 golfer Jon Rahm withdraws from the Players' Championship today with a stomach illness.
Get ready for Champions, the hilarious new movie starring Woody Harrelson. Woody's a hot-headed basketball coach who's in over his head when he's court-ordered to manage a team with intellectual disabilities and a whole lot of attitude. Champions, only in theaters Friday. Rated PG-13.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau,
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz,
Yo! Well, what are we doing, bro? Come on!
and Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Pull Jack from him! Yeah! Pull Jack from him!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Think about who's in your head. Who is it? A boss? Your wife? Ex-girlfriend? Boyfriend? A pitcher if you played baseball? You know who's in the head of all the golfers out here? Pete Dye. He is in the head of all the golfers at the Players' Championship. Well, maybe not all of them. Chad Ramey's doing just fine. He's 9 under par and in the lead at the Players' Championship. But, the big-name guys, the guys that have been here before, maybe they have too much scar tissue. They know too much about this course because Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth, that wasn't so great today for Jordan Spieth, although the end was pretty good. Jon Rahm withdraws from the Players' Championship. It's not about what's in his head. I guess what's in his stomach instead.
Or maybe what's in his field of view.
Or no longer in his stomach. Or maybe he was intimidated.
Yeah, I think so.
By the Action Sports Jax cameras.
Yeah, maybe Marcel's in Jon Rahm's head.
There it is. So wild times here at the Players' Championship Day 2. And Chad Ramey's making it away around at 9 under par. He was in the lead after round 1. He's 1 under through 5 today. Morikawa even. Ben Griffin, he's a cool story. More on him in a little bit. And there are guys climbing a little bit, but there are also guys going backwards right now. The cut is projected to be +1. So if you shoot +1, you're going to make it to the weekend. There's a chance that could move to +2 sooner than later. We'll see what happens. And if that does happen, guys like Billy Horschel right now, Joel Damon, star of the Netflix series, Tony Finau, Justin Thomas, those are the kind of names that would make the field if it moves to +2. But if it stays at +1, those are the kind of guys that could be headed home. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, and the rain is scheduled to come in a little bit.
I mean, the radar is not looking friendly right now.
I haven't seen it. So we've got some rain drops falling, but so far so good. But the clouds have been lingering now for over an hour. You say the radar does not look good on the
I'm no
forecast.
I'm no meteorologist. I just did glance at it as I went running down the hallway to get my headphones as the show started. So, excuse me, I'm a little out of breath, but
oh yeah,
it looked like Lake City's getting it right now, or close to there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the Action News Jax First Alert weather app right now. And the radar right now has some, like, showers over us, but that's definitely hit or miss. It's the next batch coming from what looks to be like west and really north that's dropping down.
Does the Action News Jax weather app say anything about the breezy conditions I just forced in the hallway as I flew down to go get my headphones? Because I was flying.
There's now a light breeze.
I was Brent Martineau in the HOV lane, man. I was going.
Right around 5 o'clock, though, it could get a little dicey. Dicey to the point where I might get wet.
Oh.
So we'll see what kind of driving rain it has, and thunderstorms. So there's a chance, I guess, I would have to move if we get some of that thunder and lightning, or just get hit by it.
I mean, be a man, Brent. Stay out there.
Let's make some good radio.
Do you imagine?
That would be bad. Or,
I mean,
good.
That'd be great.
It'd be one last hurrah for me.
All right, but it'd be like millions of views for me and Case to carry on the light.
That's true. It would be. It would be a very big bump.
Very viral video.
Now, could you guys maintain the bump is the question.
No, but at least we'd have the original. We'd make some T-shirts with your face, and I'd Photoshop char marks on it and stuff. We'd sell a ton of those.
That'd be great. Listen, I mean, as long as you don't forget about me, and that would be an unforgettable way to go.
Instead of TV's Brent Martineau, it's TV's Burnt Martineau. Come on, there's a whole revenue model here we got.
There is very good. I can feel it. It's actually almost like you guys are wishing it happened.
Or that we have been planning it for months. Yeah, sure.
Kasey Kurtz, you've been following the golf, man? I mean, some of these guys are just hitting bad shots. What's up with this? I said it yesterday, but I think it reigns true today, too. Some guys are just out of the mix, and I feel like he's in their head. Pete Dye's in their head around this course.
Yeah, I gave up on the golf. My boys are trash. This is a really bad fantasy week. I'm out $25, it sounds like. So, tough situation for the boys.
Let's not depress Kasey with the fantasy stuff. Let's just find out where his guy Will Zalatoris is. Is he going to make the cut or no?
Zalatoris was actually like over just +1. So.
Yeah, he's close now, right?
Oh, if he's +1, he's in the cut line.
Right, he's close.
I saw Ricky Fowler's 1 under. That's a heck of a sleeper pick.
That is a good sleeper.
Yeah, it is. How are your guys' sleeper picks doing?
My sleeper pick is
my sleeper pick is 2 under par.
So
David Illingworth.
All right.
Okay, so you're one shot better than Ricky Fowler. We'll see. We'll see who finishes.
I don't even remember who my sleeper pick was.
He probably sucks.
Oh, I forget your sleeper pick too. We can get it. Will Zalatoris, by the way, 1 under today, so he's +1. He's going to make the cut.
All right. You're still in a case.
Look at that.
Oh, Brian Harmon is yours. He's even through 5 at +1 for the tournament.
All
so
right,
we're
nice.
all our sleeper picks are in.
Hold on. Ricky just teed off on a par 3. He might be getting a hole-in-one here. He's in the sand.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. So no hole-in-one for Ricky Fowler there.
Oh.
But he's in the sand.
Still hope, Case.
I saw, we were talking about this Netflix thing the other day, and I told you about my buddy Pat was telling me about it, and then some other people. And I'm walking today, and somebody's like, "Where's Joel Damon? Where's Joel Damon?" And I'm like, they must have watched the show. Like, who the hell says that around a golf course?
Yeah, it's
right?
like a popular thing now.
And so I was driving home yesterday, and I was talking to my buddy Pat, and he brings it up again. He's like, "Man, I can't tell you how much I'm excited about these guys now that I feel like I know them a little bit better."
Isn't
he's
that
like,
funny?
"I love the Damon guy. Like, he's my favorite guy. Like, I love him." And he's telling me, he's like, I love this guy, or this guy's okay, like the Jordan Justin thing. It's cool. Most of them he liked. Even Ian Poulter, he was like, that guy's cool. And
he doesn't work here anymore.
Yeah, I don't like Dustin Johnson, he said. He's like, that guy seems like a jerk. He's like, but I kind of like his wife.
Well, you can choose if you're a fan.
That is just, if you knew Pat, that is Pat.
It's very funny to me. It's not like there are more Netflix subscribers than golf fans, but I do think you're bringing in a whole new kind of fan into the sphere with a golf reality show on Netflix. I think you'll see a bunch of people who you don't maybe expect to see at the course knowing about these guys moving forward. It's kind of cool.
That's the thing. Like, and Pat is that guy for sure. I mean, he's not this diehard golf fan. Like, he'll watch here or there, but I mean, he's not a diehard golf fan. So I think it was kind of cool that, like, that speaks to me that other people are viewing it that way too. And we asked the question, like, why did they wait this long? Right? And we said that the other day. He also brings up another interesting point in this conversation, because it's the second time that he said this. And he said, if I could pick one profession after watching that, it would be a pro golfer. He's like, they have the greatest life of any athlete out there. That was his takeaway watching, like, Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, I was like, is it? I mean, golfer life seems great.
It's a fairly luxurious-looking lifestyle, though, you know? My problem with it is the majority of your practice and playing happens outside in the heat and the sun. I'd love to avoid that.
But also, like, they're following around the golfers that are good. Like, there are professional golfers that fly the middle seat in Southwest and, like, have to pay for their bag check.
Yeah,
so,
man.
like, yeah,
They're their own caddy. Yeah.
If you're the best in the world at anything, I imagine it's pretty sweet overall. And if you're just middle tier but still professional, you know, it is what it is. AAA baseball players, they're professional and they fly commercial.
Till they become Savannah Bananas. Then they start making the big bucks.
That's fair.
So, like, if you could pick a profession? Like, you could be a
basketball player.
It'd
It's a
be a
part-time
basketball
job.
player?
It's a part-time job.
You got load management?
You play 20, 30 games a season, make a guaranteed 60, and you're done.
Sound like
It's
Zion.
great. It's awesome. Yeah, Kasey threw this stat at me today. I think Zion's averaging like 20-plus games a year.
24 and a half, yeah.
Way to go, Zion.
Shout out to him for making a lot of money. Listen.
Great gig if you can get it.
Easiest one is professional cornhole. You at no point in time have to go outside.
That doesn't count.
You get to drink on the job. It's encouraged.
I mean, and that, like, professional gambler is great, too, you know? But I'm talking,
Is it,
like...
though? You're sitting there in the third inning of a random baseball game chewing your nails down because...
Well, I meant, like, World Series of Poker guy or something,
Okay.
you know? I mean, that seems kind of fun,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Sit at a table all day.
Just not for the anxiety people.
But now I'm talking like me, like NASCAR driver, like
Nope.
football player, baseball player,
Too
hockey
much work.
player,
Too much work.
golfer,
I guess.
tennis player,
No. Too much conditioning.
track and field star.
Absolutely
worse.
not. Unless you're throwing the ball.
Discus?
What am I missing? Again, major sports, not cornhole, all right? I know everything's a professional
Do you have
sport
to be
now.
good at it, or can you be bad? Because if it would be okay for me to be a bad high jumper or javelin thrower, I wouldn't mind these. But like, I don't want the expectations of having to perform or anything like that.
I think the context of it more is like the lifestyle you live, right? Like if you're halfway
sound so
decent
luxurious,
to good,
though,
like I mean, these guys make so much money everywhere now. Like, isn't every lifestyle good in pro sports?
What about professional fishermen? Like the Bassmaster thing?
Yeah, those guys I think rake it in too, like that, and they kind of stay under the radar,
I do that.
which is nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's the key. If you're making the money and nobody knows who you are, that's the life.
yeah,
right
that's
there.
kind of a good life. You know, it's like once in a while you get a little ego boost, but outside of that, it's like
Yeah, like at your tournament, everyone's like, "You're the best." You're like, "Cool,
Yeah.
I'm going to go be a stranger now to my neighborhood." Thanks.
That's a great call because here we are at the Players' Championship, and Trevor Lawrence is here, and that dude cannot stop taking pictures with people. He's got people nonstop coming up.
That's
with
fame, man. It doesn't even have to be here. It's anywhere in the country, probably.
I mean, you almost feel bad. Like my wife saw it in action, and Ty's out here today, and it's like you almost feel bad for him because he's obviously being super nice. He's taking a picture with everybody, but he can't do anything. Like he can't move. So I mean, he is actually in their Jags tent now, like tucked in. They just had him on TV, so he's at least there. But he even has some security around him, golf cart moving along with him, and I mean, he's the most popular guy out here.
Yes.
And we've got the best golfers in the world.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a Jacksonville thing. I mean, this is just a man who's now, this is his life forever.
Yeah, and he's recognizable and he's easy to recognize. And there's just, in the last 2 months, like that's what I was saying to people. It's like he already had fame, but these last 2 months, man, they boosted him into a different light. The win over Tennessee, it's on national television. The win over the Chargers, everybody's still talking about it around the country, about that game and about him. And so, yeah, he's now like, you knew him, but now you really know him. And everybody wants a piece of that. And that's tough, man. He just wants to come out and enjoy some golf.
You guys remember a couple of months ago, Odell Beckham Jr. on that plane getting in trouble?
Oh, yeah.
And it started off with him being under a blanket as he sat in the chair. And after that happened, I heard an interview with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who said he's notoriously cheap, by the way. And he says when he used to fly, he refused to buy a first-class ticket or anything like that. So he'd be flying with the common folk, and he didn't want to be bothered. He's also a notoriously not friendly person. So he would put a blanket over his head. And the hosts are like, Kareem, you're 7 feet, 10 inches tall. You're not hiding from it. He goes, I know, but at least with the blanket on my head, no one's tapping me on the shoulder for a picture every 3 minutes. They know I don't want to be bothered. As silly as it looks, this humongous guy in a middle seat in row 17 with a blanket over his head on a plane. But I feel for these guys who can't get a moment to be a human being.
We've had that around. Like Tebow was like that. You know, we kind of knew that story. And I think if you're a Brady or Brady went and checked out his kid's school and it's all over the place. You know, down in Miami or something.
It happens to LeBron too. Yeah.
Yeah, and LeBron. Like, I guess I get it comes with it. It's not me like I don't feel bad for him. I just think that lifestyle to me is not as enviable as everybody makes it out to be.
No,
like, it's
fame
cool
stinks.
for a minute, man. But I think it gets old, and I think it's hard to handle sometimes. And right now, I think Trevor's doing a great job. He knows his role in Jacksonville and how big he is to Jacksonville. That's the great understanding. And he doesn't know it from, like, an egotistical standpoint. He just gets it. Like, he knows what he was brought here to do. He knows how big, like, this is to everybody in Jacksonville, the Jaguars, and the success and the turning around of it. And so he understands it, and I think he's very gracious, whether it's at the Waffle House or someplace in Ponte Vedra Beach at a restaurant or out here at the Players. And sooner or later, I mean, you're going to get turned down here or there. But so far he's been excellent at it. And I remember this. I think I've told the story a couple times, but I'll bring it up again in this context. When we went to Cartersville, I had asked, I was like, does he get bombarded everywhere he goes around here? And the answer was no.
Yeah, they're just all, he's just Trevor to everybody over there?
He is. Like, he'll go to the diner and he'll sit in the corner and they'll let him be. Now, I think there's a little bit of that, and this is what I like what he's doing. I think sooner or later, everybody in town's going to have a picture with Trevor. And then maybe we'll let him be a little bit, at least at times. Maybe not all the time, but at sometimes. And that could happen. I think that's what happened in Cartersville. It's like, yeah, man, we see him all the time, but we're not going to bother him. We respect, like, his time and everything like that. And it just stuck with me. And, see, that never happened with Tebow because Tebow was like this national global star that felt more like this national global star than he did a Jacksonville guy.
Well,
you didn't just see him out and about everywhere. Like, Trevor's way more visible at, like, these kind of events and restaurants and everything else than, like, Tebow was in his prime, and it's still like Tebow prime's never going away.
You could also make the case though that Trevor is a symbol for football and Jaguars football, and Tebow may have gone above and beyond that for some people.
Well, that is a good point. Yeah, for whatever reason, how that morphed in, I don't even know the genesis of it, but it morphed into something bigger. To your point, yeah, you're right. From even like it felt religious based, but also political based at times. It felt other things. But I wonder in a couple of years, or is Trevor just always going? It's just always going to be like this for Trevor.
That's what I think.
You do? You don't think he'll ever get like? It'll be like he'll be able to settle in.
No, never.
Maybe it is like in his own neighborhood. Bigger. Like maybe it's in people like his own neighborhood or places that he frequents.
I mean, maybe. Like, but how much time is he going to spend in Cartersville? I think it's one of these things where you just become. There's a difference between being famous and ultra famous, and even regular famous stinks. Ultra famous, I don't understand any of the upside. Being rich, sign me up all day. All day, sign me up for being rich. I'll take all the problems that come with it. But fame, I don't get why anyone would want it. It makes no sense. Luckily, I'm so mediocre at this job, I'll never have to deal with it. I'd be a terrible famous person. I'd be on every blog. Oh, my God. There'd be all kinds of videos out about me. Kasey trying to get an autograph from me, I'd rip the pen out of his hand and sign it on his forehead.
Kasey, I know you want to be rich, but do you want to be famous too?
No, I'm good with the money as well. My big goal is to have money and sit inside and never go out.
See? That's my thing, man. Me and Kasey going to live together.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Oh, great. What the hell's the point of that? What are you doing with your money?
You spending it on downloadable content on video games.
Yes, exactly. PlayStation 5,
where
newest
you were
game.
going with downloadable content.
Not that.
Getting new jerseys for his FIBA game.
FIFA. Exactly. I have all the VC from my MyPlayer and NBA. Everything would be fine. I'd be at 99. I'd be balling all day on the video game.
There it is.
And then I'd go to bed with my Scrooge McDuck blanket.
I hope that's not real.
I hope that doesn't happen to me because I don't want to be rich if that's what my life ends up being.
Oh.
Stevie says it's better to be undercover rich than it is to be famous rich.
Yes.
And I believe that. You know, there's an appreciation I actually have for you. You've seen this. Kasey probably hasn't seen as much as he's still a young guy here.
Young buck.
But, Aaron, you've seen this like in the business world or even in Jacksonville because there's a lot of this in Jacksonville where you don't even know the person you're talking to has a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
they own like a recycled tire warehouse.
Oh, yeah. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there was a car dealership that we did a remote at a couple years ago, and it was, where was it? It was like, it was a place, where was it off like Butler or Phillips where the Bentley place?
Okay.
And I was like, you guys have a Bentley dealership in Jacksonville? I was like, do people buy these all the time? Like, we're talking cars that are
ultra premium,
a few $100,000, And the guy told me, he's like, a lot of quiet money in Jacksonville now. He's like, you had a guy come in with shorts on and flip-flops and write a check for $200,000. I was like, wow. I was like, that's amazing. Like, I want to meet that guy.
And be his friend.
Yeah, and be his friend. But I just have this appreciation for people like that you can't tell are just filthy rich.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
It's always fun to discover, too. It's like, wait, what? Is this the same person? Okay. You go over their house, maybe you're going over to watch the game or something. You get there and you're like, honey, quick, pull up Zillow for a second. What are we walking into over here?
By the way, here's a good sign that you'll know, like, I hit the lottery or something. I'm not tweeting as much. All right?
Is that the sign?
Yeah, because
okay.
I'm going dark. I'm going a little darker. I mean, not just completely lights off dark, but I'm going dark.
I thought the sign was we're checking in with you at 2:59 p.m. to start the show, and you're actually not there this time.
Well, I was going to say, the other sign is the show shrunk to about 2 hours a day.
Yeah, we go to Brent and Spirit from now on.
What are the signs that you won the lottery without telling people? Like, that would be great.
A big sign, Brent won the lottery, is that suddenly Chat GPT is our new co-host.
I do wonder about that. Like, what's the first thing to go? TV? Probably TV. Radio? I don't know.
You keep that.
Both
it's fun.
All of it.
All of it.
If I win the lottery, I'm not coming in, I'm not calling, I'm not texting.
If there is a shot of me from a golf course once a day, you know something else is happening. Let's talk more players. Also, a lot of stuff going on in football, including the Miami Dolphins picking up the 5th-year option on Tua. What does that mean? Is that a good idea? Somebody, I think it was Linda Cohn. Did you see her tweet today where, like, hey, the Dolphins have cleared like $40 million in space.
Oh, yeah.
Could they be making a run at a quarterback?
Another person
was that
came
Brady
out
or
yesterday.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, well, we just covered a tweet yesterday. We'll go into it after the break, but another guy saying Brady is in play for the Dolphins.
Yeah, why is that rumor hot right now? Is there some smoke? We'll talk some more about what's going on around the NFL. Got some fun topics today, including overrated and underrated. We will be back live from the Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass, round number 2, as we try to hold off the weather on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mix of clouds and sun, warm and breezy today with some late day and evening showers and a few thunderstorms, so keep an eye to the sky and an umbrella nearby. As we reach the low 80s, clearing and cooler later tonight near 50, and sunny and nice tomorrow. Your Saturday high 70 to 75. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jags.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Now get 0% interest for 5 years with nothing down.
Stogie Fest, the Southeast's premier cigar event, is back at Aromas March 24th through the 26th. It all kicks off Friday, March 24th at 6 p.m. with events throughout the evening. Saturday, enjoy the Stogie Feast, an exotic meat lover's dinner, followed by beer, scotch, wine, and of course, cigar samples. Stogie Fest Sunday starts at 11 a.m. and features cigar sampling, great food, a designer car show, and more. This event will sell out, so go to aromas.com to get your tickets today. That's aromas.com.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, the thing that set us apart have been the standards of excellence we set for our diamonds and jewelry. When it comes to diamonds, we have grading standards we've set for our diamonds that are constant and don't move, unless science and gemology dictate a change for the better for the customer. That's what happened in 1995 when the American Gem Society opened a diamond grading laboratory that graded round diamonds for the quality of their cut. So we started sending our diamonds to the laboratory for grading reports. Then again, when optical scientists determined a better way to both cut and grade diamonds based on scientifically proven light performance of the diamond, we adopted these scientifically proven standards for cut grading diamonds because we know at Underwoods it's what a diamond does with light that makes it beautiful. These standards of excellence really mean something. So come see us at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Have you seen your financial freedom wiped out by stock market volatility? It's Rich Jones. Consider investing in real estate funds from DLP Capital. Don Wenner is CEO and founder.
DLP Capital has provided our investors with consistent double-digit returns by investing in cash-flowing residential real estate. For more than a decade, we have had zero losses, little volatility, and have shot above our return targets in all of our investment funds. Plus, we offer monthly distributions and tax shelter opportunities.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial **invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
On average, an artificial limb for a child starts at $5,000, and the first prosthetic for an adult can cost up to $50,000, making it nearly impossible for disabled children or veterans to afford the limb they need. At Life Giving Limbs, we cover the cost of these prosthetics, giving recipients a chance at receiving a new limb and a new start on life. Please help by donating now. Visit lifegivinglimbs.com or call 469-601-8523.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I got my COVID-19 vaccine when I was pregnant. I wanted to do everything I could to help protect my baby and keep myself healthy. So I talked to my doctor and learned that vaccines are safe and effective when you're pregnant. My daughter Lauren was born healthy and happy, and she was protected against COVID. Getting your COVID, flu, and Tdap vaccines while pregnant keeps families protected against dangerous diseases.
To learn how to protect your family, visit vaccinateyourfamily.org/learn.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jax on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Oh, we welcome you back to the Players' Championship. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Friends live from the Players' Championship, sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. The tent's getting crowded. Olivia Tassley waiting for it to rain. It's like she's hoping it rains or something. There she is on the stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And then we've got John Bachman along. And Aaron Schachter, I know you asked this question. How much product does Bachman put in his hair to not have it move during these windy days?
I didn't ask, but I am curious.
You see, he set you up there, didn't he? Yeah, it's just hairspray, Brent.
More than you. More than you, Aaron.
Well, yeah, more than Aaron, for sure.
Brent's sitting here trying to take swings. The reality is, John, I think you're one of the most handsome men in the city. I ain't afraid to admit it. This guy's trying to act like that's something strange. I'm telling you, man, you are a beautiful man.
That's why you're my favorite, Aaron. Thank you.
Well, hey, I mean, listen, he's comfortable.
Yeah, well, he's not sitting right next to me like you are, so.
Hey, before we get into some more golf and play day coming up as well, we'll have you talk a little football.
Oh, okay.
We were talking about this the other day. He's a Vikings fan.
Oh,
guys.
My man, yeah.
Are you ready to move on from Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
or
that.
are you ready to ride?
And Adam Thielen, yeah.
And Adam
Thielen's a Minnesota guy. Like, he grew up there. Yeah. He went to school there.
I feel like Thielen's he had a great career, and now he's kind of hit toward the end, right?
That's absolutely true. As a business, it's a good decision, but I hate to see him go.
Yeah, he's kind of –
they
love him
He's
there,
a Minnesota guy.
Yeah.
Cousins, don't get me started on that.
Are you not a Cousins fan?
I am not a Cousins fan, but I'm also a defender of Cousins and the Vikings, because everybody wants to say the Vikings made a bad move when they got Cousins, but they needed Cousins at the time, and he was the only option they had. So they spent, and they overspent to get him, and now they're unfortunately kind of having they're in the problem that so many NFL teams are in, right, Brent? They're stuck in the middle. They're not bad enough like the Jags were to go get a great talent to come in and fix the team as a whole, but they're not good enough where they're just like one guy away. So they're stuck in the middle. So they went and they got Kirk Cousins, and they perennially are, barely getting into the playoffs. And then, of course, this year losing to the Giants in the playoffs, which was bad.
Kasey, where are you on Cousins? Because, his numbers, we've talked about him before, his numbers are ridiculously good. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is as a quarterback. But there's, this mystery thing, Kasey, where he just doesn't win big enough, for whatever reason, he can't get over that hump and get them to where they need to go.
Yeah, I think they're one of those random teams that could go get a quarterback to let sit behind Cousins for another year. I don't think they will, but I think it's an option.
I would love to see him go get the Florida guy. He's not going to be available for them, but I think that would be the perfect roll the dice situation. You got Cousins. You don't need, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, you don't need Anthony Richardson now, obviously, and I don't think anybody who takes him now should play him now. They probably will if they draft him before the Vikings get to him, but I think that would be a perfect fit for him.
Aaron Schachter, news on Tua. Miami keeping him for another year, that fifth-year option. Good move, bad move?
It's relatively affordable compared to his level of play when he's not seeing 17 offensive and defensive linemen and he's dizzied in the concussion protocol. But, clearly at $23 million, Tua was delivering MVP numbers last year. So this could work out very nicely for the Dolphins, or it could end in disaster 3 games in.
Well, here's the other thing, guys, too, and we're going to see, I think, more teams pick up this fifth-year option anyway. It's a good move for Tua, but based on what happened, let's just say with Daniel Jones, they wish they picked up the fifth-year option, because then they wouldn't have been forced into this 4-year deal with Daniel Jones. Kasey, you think they give him a 4-year deal if they've got a fifth-year option? You think they rip it up, or do they play on it and say, do it again, and then we'll believe you, and then we'll pay you handsomely?
Nah, he plays on that.
I'll do even one better. If Saquon Barkley didn't exist, they still would have let him play on that fifth-year option. But they would
have tagged them then, you mean?
Right.
Yes,
Saquon Barkley complicated the whole thing for the Daniel Jones deal is what I mean, yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. So some of those football topics we'll keep on with. John Bachman, you're joining us not really for us to put product in your hair before you go live on TV at 4 o'clock. This was a Burish thing, actually, so I'm playing off Mike. He actually poked a little fun at John, and actually it was a compliment.
It
hair
was.
didn't move
Absolutely.
John, a lot of these guys throwing smoke your way, man. I think Burish was out there trying to throw you under the bus for makeup on camera, too.
Listen, bring it. It's all compliments. I'll take it. There are a lot of worse things that you can make fun of me for, and I'm fine with that.
Well, I would say it's all compliments, considering Aaron just called you the most beautiful man.
Handsome, Brent. Don't go crazy. I said handsome.
No, dude, you literally said
Can I put that on my card? I think I'm going to put that on my
most
card.
Beautiful man in Jacksonville.
Put it on the resume.
If I'm not mistaken, he proposed to his wife at a Sammy Hagar show.
Well, not exactly, but I love where your heart is.
I'm trying to go there.
No, that was the one that didn't say yes.
She said no.
Oh, no.
She turns out was a David Lee Roth fan.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. I did see that.
dodged a
it was
bullet
our it was our honeymoon when we saw Sammy Hagar.
It was the honeymoon.
In concert.
Okay.
Yeah, honeymoon.
Yeah.
So close.
Which,
yeah,
by the way, very much sounds like a honeymoon that the husband wants to go on and the wife is just going to be nice.
Well, it was a spur of the moment. It was not the reason we went on the honeymoon. We went on the honeymoon to Cabo, and it just so happens it was in October when Sammy's down there for the month of his birthday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I didn't plan it.
Yeah.
She picked a date.
Just a good extra excursion.
It just happened. It just was very spur of the moment with a couple other guys at the swim-up bar at the hotel.
Sure. It's like being a big Elvis fan and going to Graceland and being shocked that there's Elvis stuff there.
Look at that. Who knew?
Hey, you're a big golf guy, and you played this course many a times. I'm surprised right now that some of the big names just aren't playing well. I get the wind is up today, but yesterday it was fine, and they know this course. It's actually like guys that haven't played here a ton. In fact, the top 10 yesterday had like a combined 10 appearances at the Players' Championship. So for whatever reason, the big guys just aren't swinging it well as a group.
I think there's a lot of things going on here. Number one, with the exception of maybe Rahm, the big guys haven't been playing that great to begin with, right? I mean, it's still fairly early in the season. They haven't had a lot of good showings that I'm aware of. I'm not the expert.
Well, it's been kind of back and forth for some of them.
Yeah.
Like they've played good golf and then they miss a cut.
I'm surprised Rahm, I mean, I know he apparently withdrew because he had some
stomach
health
problems,
issues. So, but I think he would have hung in. I mean, he was doing okay, right?
He would have probably made a move, been around and then made a move on Saturday.
So that's the guys like, Spieth and Thomas,
Rory.
those guys, Rory especially. But, I mean, this course, if you make just a couple of errors, you can run off the rails so fast here. It is so hard, and then it gets in your head, especially for those of us don't have game like Rory.
Yeah, it can be tricky, no doubt.
Yeah.
Competitive golf, totally different than just hanging around and playing out here and having some fun. A guy that has done that and competitive golf, Len Matisse, you guys have connected for the first tee of North Florida and had this play day. It's been going on for a few years now, and it's really taken off. Tell us a little bit more about it as people can donate as they play golf around for the next few weeks, it sounds like.
Yeah, Len has a legend here, and he can tell it. You can probably go look for it too. But Len is a real big supporter of the first tee, and so he and I teamed up during COVID when we couldn't have our fundraisers and decided to launch this thing called Play Day, get people out, play golf. Well, yeah, so we started raising some money, and now it's kind of growing. In fact, Golf Gamebook app, if anybody's familiar with it, I wasn't until recently, but you know, there's an app out there that you can have fun with your friends and play. It's like the perfect thing for Play Day. And they've gotten on board now, and we've got this guy named Patrick Koenig, who's a Instagram golf influencer. He's coming to play with us for Play Day weekend in April. But we decided this year, all the month of March, we're going to take donations and register people in for the drawing to win the top prize, which is a round of golf with Len and a buddy here at the stadium course. So if you're watching the tournament this week, you can drool and say, God, I really love to play there. You can do it. All you got to do is give $10 to the first tee this month. And the link is everywhere on social, including First Tee. It's also, we've tweeted it out. You're tweeting it out now probably. But so if you donate $20, you get 2 chances, right?
Oh, good.
So the more you donate, the better chance you have.
I didn't even know that. I donated $50. That's 5 chances.
5 chances, yes, indeed.
$50.
And we've got some other prizes this year, including for the locals who may say, well, I don't know if I've played this place once. It's okay, which is crazy to me. But
you don't ever turn it down.
Tim Aquana is offering up a round as well.
Cool.
So that's going to be, you have the choice. And then
arguably
we'll draw
the best
another
golf course
name,
in
and whoever gets the first choice, and then the next round, So, and there's other stuff we're going to try to throw in there as well that maybe people who aren't golfers will enjoy. So there's a lot there to it, but really it's just $10 for the kids. I'm telling a story about one of the kids over at the 17th hole challenge here at the Players. One of the first tee kids got a hole-in-one in there yesterday. So it's pretty cool. About the same time that Hadley got his.
Buckley,
Buckley got his. So, yeah, anyway. So, yes, it's great. It's, a wonderful program that I'm a huge supporter of. I am on the First Tee board in full transparency, so that's why I'm obviously passionate about it.
They do some great stuff, and obviously the PGA Tour very supportive. First Tee all around the country, really all around the
This
globe.
tournament does a great job, so many different local charities, but First Tee is definitely one of the big benefactors of this tournament.
Yeah, so good stuff, and we'll continue to share the link and push it out, and maybe we'll get Len on the next couple of weeks to talk about it as well, who continues to try to play competitive golf.
Yes.
And maybe you can beat him at the Players' Championship.
Take him down. And by the way, he will talk trash, and he's just so much fun to be around. It's a joy to have him on board with this because I really he's a friend, and he's just so much fun. He's particularly fun on the golf course because he's obviously still very good, but he's also really good at talking garbage.
He's a really good man, too.
And he's a good guy.
Good stuff.
Hey,
just like you, John Bachman.
Yeah. I know you're up against the time, but can I tease a story that I'm going to tell?
I was actually going to ask you that.
Okay.
I was going to help the TV station.
Yes,
now.
so
Fox
I'm
30,
out here
CBS
live in
47.
actually, I got to go about a half hour.
Do you have like a golf cart that brings you around,
no,
or do you have to walk?
And a driver, you mean?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I got to actually walk.
Trevor took your call.
Trevor took my cart and my driver. I'm going to have words. No, the GOAT logo.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're out here this weekend, it's a fun game to play. Is walking around the ground, see if you can find the golden goat.
Yeah.
There's logos on shirts, hats, belts, cups. It is an exclusive secondary logo based on the legendary goats of TPC Sawgrass. It's a fascinating story in my opinion. You can only get the goat up in the Players Club,
Yeah.
which is an exclusive spot.
Basically, it's in the clubhouse. They started this a few years ago. It's a very expensive ticket.
It is.
It has like 5-star dining, and it's think about it as like a premium suite at like a concert or a game, and that's what they started. And you can only buy it up there.
And the guy whose idea this whole all was, I just talked to him. You're going to hear from him on Action News Jax at 6. He tells us all about it. But even he can't get the golf gear without special permission. The guy whose idea was for the Golden Goat had to go and get permission to get a shirt for the interview.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
I didn't know about the GOAT stuff up there, but I did ask Jared Rice earlier this year when we were getting ready for the Players, like, how's that going? Did it take off? Because they had the pandemic and everything else. You don't know. And they started it probably right before the pandemic, and they were trying it. Well, I guess it's been super well received. And of course, you have people flying in from all over the world. Remember that. So there's dollars being spent.
The
around
GOAT
here.
has been seen across the world.
Really?
Dave, with the tour, who I interviewed for this story, said he was, I forget which tournament it was, maybe the Ryder. I don't remember where he was, but he was somewhere out of the country, I believe, and he saw the GOAT emblem. It's sort of like a if you know thing.
Yeah, it is true.
And it's pretty cool. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah,
so
good stuff. We'll look
that'll
forward
be on
to
at
that.
6.
John's coming up Fox 30 at 4 o'clock, and then CBS 47, Fox 30, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. We'll have some reports as well with our Action Sports Shacks team. And then later tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30, Action Sports Shacks at the Players Special. And John loves those specials. You know why? Because he's on the road by 11:15 heading home, guys. That's why he loves those specials.
You're taking one for the team.
The news folks love when we do half-hour shows and specials. It's like, yes, we're out a little early today. We're getting home and having a cold one.
15 minutes early.
That's right. That 15 minutes makes a big difference
Big
sometimes.
difference. Yes.
All right, man. Thanks for
guys.
stopping by. Good luck with Play Day. We'll continue to push that.
Yes.
And where people can find it as well. That is John Bachman. Looking good, sounding good, and we'll see him soon. 4 o'clock on Fox 30 and Action News. Jax, of course. Brent Friends live from the Players, sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. Back to football we go when we come back on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Yellow Card is coming to Daly's Place on July 21st and 22nd, and ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Log on to ESPN 690 and register to win tickets to see Yellow Card celebrating 20 years of Ocean Avenue.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut Softener and Drinking Water System. Connecticut's twin-tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can trade in any brand water softener and receive $750 towards a new Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa. One jackpot is paid out every minute on the hottest slot machines and table games. With over $2 billion in jackpots paid out in the last year, you could be the next lucky winner. Seminole Hard Rock Tampa has over 800 rooms and suites, a luxurious rock spa and salon, award-winning restaurants, and an exciting comedy and concert lineup, including pool parties with world-renowned artists. With a variety of gaming, dining, and entertainment options, anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Tampa.
When people ask how I do it all, the answer is simple. I don't, because some days I just can't. And on those days, I hit up McDonald's, sometimes even twice a day. Once for breakfast, like a buttery sausage biscuit or a savory sausage McMuffin. And I'll bundle either pick with hash browns for just $2.29. Then I'll be back later for either a melty McDouble or a bold hot and spicy McChicken. And bundle that with a small fries for just $3.29. Turns out you don't need to do it all to have it all. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid when product served.
No matter what I get, it's 20% off every day when I spend $1 on the McDonald's app. So yesterday was my please the whole fam on the way to the game meal. Today is my finally get them to stop asking, are we there yet meal. Who knows what tomorrow will be? Maybe a delicious crispy chicken sandwich all for myself meal. Whatever it is, it's a win. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Offer valid through December 31st, 2023 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. McD app download and registration required.
Ready for some baseball? It's almost time for your Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Opening day is April 5th, and 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union has the deal. 1 week only, March 13th to the 18th. Stop by any 1-to-1 Financial branch and pick up BOGO Jumbo Shrimp ticket packages. Buy one, get one. Yeah. That's 20 game vouchers for just $1.95. No blackout dates, only the reserve seats. Yeah. Just hit up your hometown credit union 1-to-1. March 13th to the 18th. Get your BOGO and support the home team. Thirsty Thursday has never been better. Federally insured by NCUA.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest. Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Yeah, obviously in a good spot, but pretty disappointed I didn't finish it off today because I played some really, really good golf, and yeah, it's frustrating with that finish.
I just said, who's this? Case, like you asked the question. I asked questions to like 5 different guys today.
Victor Hovland.
That was Hovland? I didn't pick up like any kind of accent at all there in my ears.
Yeah.
He was mad.
Yeah.
Didn't really sound mad. He sounded disappointed, though, yeah.
Yeah.
He was unimpressed with the interviewer for the first 3 questions, I think.
Rough.
Yeah, he was.
Hovland and Daniel Kilkenny.
You hit him with, like, how'd you feel? And he was like, this is just garbage.
I didn't hit him with how I feel, but I was doing a story on the 4th hole, and he double bogeyed it, so he didn't kind of like the start.
He didn't like that story at all.
That's literally how you opened it up after a pretty decent round. You're like, hey, the 4th hole, why is it hard? He's like, I don't know, dude. It's tough.
Well, you know what? I kind of got surprised a little bit because, you know, Victor Hovland's the biggest name of the guys that had come up there. He was like the 3rd one. Like Ben Griffin. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Actually, Jason Day was up. So there were there was a good amount of press for Jason Day, and Day was awesome. And then Ben Griffin, who's got a fantastic story. So everybody's kind of getting the story of Ben Griffin, and he's very emotional. Boy, I've seen a lot of emotional golfers around here about their journeys to play here. And so then Victor Hovland comes up, and there's nobody there. Like, I was waiting for somebody else to kind of get the interview going. I really only wanted the 4th hole stuff on Victor. It's all like,
Victor, you're having a great day. Tell me about your worst part of the day.
I know.
Right now.
I was like I tried. I was like, yeah, this didn't work. I know. I kind of should have came in with a little something softer, you know. But whatever. It is what it is. I had to get what I had to get,
and that's why
could
we
have been
love
5
you.
other people.
That's right, Brent. You go there, you ask the hard questions. Don't worry about these golfers.
I know. Forget about softening them up. But he was disappointed with the finish. It is kind of crazy. The 4th hole is playing wacky. Like, the 4th hole is not considered like this insanely hard hole. The 5th hole is, the 14th hole is, the 1st hole can be tough. 16, 17, 18 are well known. 18 is really hard. even 10 can have some quirks to it. The fourth hole is a short par 4. Now, I can see why you can get into some trouble, and I'm not saying there's never been big numbers. In fact, until recently, I think Gary Smits was telling me from the Florida Times Union, 4 had the largest number ever recorded in the Players, like a 12 on the par 4 fourth hole. But if you look at
what
it,
do you call a 12 on a par 4?
I don't know.
It's like a quadruple bogey? Triple bogey?
3-to-1 odds? Like, I don't know. The parlay of some whatever, square root of X, I don't know.
It's a rough day.
It's a dozen, a dirty dozen.
Dirty dozen. Caught the dirty dozen on 4.
But anyway, so we were like, one of the ideas we had with some of our shows is like, hey, let's take one of the holes that kind of has is a factor. And it's not just bad stuff, by the way. We've seen plenty of birdies there, pars, bogeys, double bogeys. Hovland had the double, and then there was a guy had a 9. Justin Herbert's brother, Lucas, had a 9 there today.
Wow.
It's Air Bear, isn't it?
It is Air Bear.
Kasey?
Yeah. Also, the homie Chad just hit a young child with a golf ball that he hit.
On 18?
Must be watching my YouTube videos.
So Chad Ramey was in the lead. He just made a 7 on the 17th hole, which means he probably put 2 in the drink. I didn't see it, but I think
he's probably not in the lead anymore.
Well, and he's not going to be in a good spot here because I don't know if you know this, but small children usually aren't on the golf course, so he's somewhere near the fans.
Are you sure they just didn't add 1 to the Players this year to make it even harder?
Nope, he was actually standing dead square in the middle of the cart path.
So he actually did hit the kid?
Yeah, bounced. Like, the kid's fine. He got
I'm not sure if this is the most updated, but it looks like Ramey now down at 5.
Yeah, no, that is the updated.
That's correct.
I'm telling you, the wind at 17 must be something. And it's a double-decker now this year. Or is it a triple-decker? Double. So they've got – so I don't think these guys can feel the wind. And there's a lot more wind today.
Uh-oh, here's Aaron's sleeper pick, Brian Harmon, in the water.
Oh, well, that's why he's the sleeper pick.
Yeah, Ricky didn't go in the water.
See Aaron Wise yesterday, 3 shots in the water.
Yeah, we were watching that, I think.
We were watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking of it this way. Like, 18 can be really hard, and so that's why you see so many guys over on the right near the – but after you hit, like, the first 2 in the water, like, why would you just hit that thing, like, a mile right?
He kind of did after the third one.
Well, after the third one he did, not after the second one.
Because he went right into the pine straw with the one after.
But that is a scary – if you have a one-shot lead in this tournament on Sunday, that is a scary shot.
Yeah.
Especially depending on the way the wind blows. But – can you imagine standing on the tee in a golf tournament and you're hitting 7 on a par 4? And you're still on the tee. Like, usually there's a drop area. Not on that hole because you basically go – I mean, if you hit it over the water, you hit it over the water.
The only saving grace has to be that so many people have the same experience in this golf tournament. Like, you just obviously it's got to be extremely frustrating. The only solace I can imagine is going, but the 3 guys behind me are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, the Tennessee Titans are letting go Ben Jones, their center. It's Ben Jones, right? Yeah, yes. Ben Jones. Mm-hmm. I guess they're going to need like a whole new starting 5 on the offensive line.
I mean, they really –
that's a little discomforting to know going into the offseason. We have 5 vacancies.
Well, especially when you're talking about a guy in Ryan Tannehill who reaches a top speed of 6 miles an hour on his runs.
He can be athletic, but he doesn't run fast.
He doesn't go anywhere. That guy's a pocket passer through and through.
Okay, is this the indicator? Like, I'm having a hard time figuring out what Tennessee's doing. Tannehill is a bunch of money. They're probably not going to be able to unload him.
Yeah.
Are they going to trade Derrick Henry? They have no offensive lineman for Derrick Henry to run behind and no offensive lineman right now for Ryan Tannehill to pass behind.
No, as a matter of fact, if you look at their depth chart, the only offensive weapons they really have left at this point are Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and Treylon Burks. They don't even have a wide receiver, too.
They must have seen Caleb Williams was draft eligible next year.
I guess technically Okonkwo is decent at tight end. You have Austin Hooper as well. But again, I don't know that either of those guys will be on the team next year. Here's the thing. I don't know if you can unload Tannehill or not. Maybe they can. Maybe they can't. But if they're not actively shopping Derrick Henry at bargain basement prices for next year's draft capital, I don't know what Carthon is doing out there in Tennessee.
Yeah, Kasey, I don't remember if you were here for the rumors that came up. Like, first it started that Derrick Henry's being shopped, and then they were like, well, no, he's not being shopped. But, like, the point that we made, or at least I remember I made, is he should be shopped.
Yes.
Like, and now this just continues to add to the reasons why he should be shopped. Like, you've gotten everything out of Derrick Henry that you're going to squeeze out of him, most likely, and you went probably as far as you could go, and now you got to rip it up. Like, the way to do it in Tennessee is rip it up, I think. Do you think?
Yes.
Big time. Listen, I think that you should rip it up completely this year, and you should do what the Houston Texans did last year. You should do what the Jacksonville Jaguars did the year they played Mike Glennon as quarterback. You should not try to win football games. It is as simple as that. It's not what the league wants you to say. It's what they should do. Caleb Williams might be great. Drake May is also a great option next year in the draft. You should
by the way,
lose.
there are other quarterbacks who are going to be looking good too. The question for me is, does Mike Vrabel survive even if you give him the ugliest roster in football? Because we all thought he was a good coach and still think he is, I assume.
That's the problem. A Mike Vrabel team won't lose or won't win just one or two games.
Yeah, kind of hard to imagine. He's not going to tank, right? But if they don't give him options to win, he may not have a say in the matter. I guess my question is, most of the time, even if it's not the head coach's fault, you kind of, when you tear it down, you tear the whole thing down. You start fresh. Are you able to do that if you retain the head coach? A guy like in Pittsburgh, God, why is his name escaping me?
Mike Tomlin?
Well, a guy like Mike Tomlin doesn't necessarily go through rebuilding processes, right? He'll stock, he'll restock, and he'll swap. But it's not like you ever see Mike Tomlin with a losing season. So you look at what the Tennessee Titans are about to put on paper for next season, assuming the roster stays relatively similar, if not worse than what it is today. I don't see 9 wins coming from this team. Not in the AFC.
I'm just going to stress it again. That's why I just tweeted. This is where the Jags, we have to calculate this. The Jags are fun right now. Everything's cooking. Everything's going in the right direction. They've got a very good team, it looks like. That's all coming back for the most part. They had Calvin Ridley. They've got a good coach. They've got the quarterback. They have young talent. They've got old talent. Their time is now. We know that. But on top of it, the other 3 teams in the AFC South, their time is not now. I just said the Jags are the number 1 favorite to win the AFC South, and the Titans, the Colts, and the Texans are at 4. There's no 2 or 3 right now. The way they are shaped in right this moment. The Colts don't have a quarterback. The Texans don't have a quarterback. The Titans don't have an offensive line.
I'll do you one better. You tell me the player, you don't even got to tell me a name. Tell me a number. The most receptions for a single player actively on the Titans right now in 2022. How many receptions led the Titans?
26.
33.
Yikes.
Tops on the whole team.
Wow.
This is going to get ugly for them.
Yeah. And they got to figure out why they're getting hurt all the time, too.
And they're getting worse.
Thing.
Yeah.
I don't want them to get hurt, but I'm thrilled they're losing, to be real with you.
Well, I think everybody in Jacksonville's had. But, again, that means the window is really open because of what you're going up against. Now the Jags have to go take advantage of it. Brent Friends live from the Players' Championship, sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller, 4 o'clock hour on the way. Coming up next as the wind and rain maybe heads in this afternoon at TPC Sawgrass.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Rich Jones here. Investing can be more about just filling a bank account. It's about having a secure retirement, protecting your family. Let DLP Capital help you to protect your why. Here's CEO and founder Don Wenner.
I started DLP Capital with an expectation that I could provide my family, my investors, my team members, and the families of my investors with awesome returns, limited volatility, and no losses, all while providing desperately needed affordable housing to the American workforce.
To get your investor's guide and learn more, dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
It's transition time to the spring season on the campus of the University of North Florida. Busy time to swoop. Baseball, softball, tennis, beach volleyball, track and field. Something for everyone at UNF. Find the schedules, results, the stories of the student athletes, and buy tickets at UNFospreys.com. Plus, be an Osprey supporter and help get scholarships fully funded at UNF. Giving Day is coming up on March 22nd. And check out the strategic plan of the future for UNF athletics. You can find all that at UNFospreys.com.
Skip the spring cleaning and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. So you can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready. One of our clients, Charles, said, "Selling my home with Mark Spain Real Estate was completely hassle-free. Their guaranteed offer made the entire process easy and stress-free, even in today's complex market. I highly recommend them. Don't worry about the hassle of constant cleaning and making costly repairs. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. I've been in business for nearly 30 years and have served over 50,000 satisfied clients. And I know what matters most, a quick sale and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Call 855-299-SOLD or go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
Dig Local believes community gardens, farmers markets, and nutrition education are sustainable routes to a future where everyone can eat better. Shop the Beaches Green Market this and every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Penman Park on Penman Road, just north of Beach Boulevard, for fresh local fruits and vegetables, plants, meats, eggs, baked goods, honey, wellness products, ready-to-eat snacks and drinks, and local artist craft goods. If you have an EBT card, stock up on free fruits and vegetables and edible plants. Go to diglocal.org to learn more.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Dolphins commit to quarterback Tua Tagovailoa today, picking up his fifth-year option for 2024 with a guaranteed salary of more than $23 million. The Cowboys restructure the contracts of quarterback Dak Prescott and offensive lineman Zach Martin to create about $30 million of salary cap space. That will allow the team a chance to re-sign some of their own potential free agents. New Syracuse basketball coach Adrian Autry officially introduced today. He takes over for Jim Boeheim.
It's an honor. I'm super excited. It's an honor. I'm humbled that a coach entrusted me with the program, moving it forward. So I'm just excited and ready to go.
Adrian Autry on Canty and Carlin. St. John's fires head coach Mike Anderson today after 4 seasons. ESPN's Jeff Borzello reports they're expected to contact Iona head coach Rick Pitino to take over the job. Number 1 Houston, 4th-ranked Alabama, 5th-ranked Purdue all win in conference quarterfinals today.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to the Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass, where we have an ever-changing leaderboard. Bazunhu is your leader at 7 under. That is going to make some waves around the broadcasting world.
More
Good
so
luck.
in the newspaper world. They got to write the name.
Yeah, that's true.
Bloggers are really struggling. Guys getting blisters on their fingers from that one.
Casey, you're a big golf guy. Bazunhu, did we do okay with that one?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I just call him Christian with 2 A's. He has 2 A's in his name.
I think it's Bazunhu, not Hout.
Bless you.
You got to stop.
I'm just
it just
trying
hasn't
to be
worked.
polite.
You know?
I'm being polite.
Yeah, I don't think it's Hout. I think it's Hoot.
I think it's Hoot. But I also didn't know that it was Suh, not Sue.
I thought it was Sue. I told someone yesterday.
Oh, no. Yeah. Brent's
It's
right.
Suh.
It's
Sup.
What's Suh?
It's Friday, man. Give me a little rope here.
There's some great – I did bring this up to you guys. Earlier I asked to start the show, like, what's the best professional athlete, like, role? Like, if you're a good athlete, right? You said cornhole. My buddy said golfer, like they're flying around, playing golf, wearing shorts.
Horse jockey.
Well, horse jockey's pretty good, but it's a little dangerous now.
I hear it's also filled with, like, crazy partying, too.
Oh,
I don't want to
yeah,
spread rumors or anything.
No.
You're
Listen,
spreading, though.
I covered horse racing for 6 years.
Brent's like, I've been to the parties.
He's been there. Oh, yeah.
Listen.
Oh, yeah. Those stable parties, huh?
The jockey life is a wild one.
That's a sentence most people haven't said.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it is.
Doesn't take that much vodka to
All
get
right,
a 3-foot person drunk. I'll tell you that much.
Well, it's such a fascinating scene at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Because they are all little, right?
Yeah.
Little
are they
men that are like
little?
in their 40s.
Are they legitimately little people, or are they just short?
No, they're just short.
Yeah.
No, they're just short. Like,
okay.
But they're like, I mean, I don't know what the tallest jockey is, but we're talking, 5'4", 5'5", 5'3", which is shorter for a male. But then the difference is, or the I guess eye-popping thing is, most of them are walking around with 6'2" models in high heels.
Oh, it's a glamorous lifestyle, huh?
Well, they got a lot of money now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those jockeys, they make some good money.
Okay.
So there's
Maybe
money
that's
in
the
horse
life.
racing. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting life, but you want to get thrown from a horse?
No.
Depends on how much they're paying.
Yeah, I think it's a hard life.
I'll do anything for money.
I also don't want to be Trayvon Walker's tackling dummy, but I'll take the paycheck if someone's giving it.
I won't. I've said that before. I won't. But I start to think of, like, the guy that makes it to football, right? And the baseball journey's an interesting one. Guy takes football, basketball. You're not getting this crazy, goofy underdog most of the time. Maybe once in a while. But you've got to have measurables to play in the National Football League, pretty much, and to play in the NBA. Baseball guy can be an interesting journey. There's some really cool stories out there. There are stories like, of guys just, whatever, quitting and then coming back. I think Kasey probably has a million of different stories that he's seen of minor leaguers where they make it to the pros. I'll give you a great story. The Darren O'Day story is a great story. Played in the big leagues for 14 years from Jacksonville and, had completely lost it, went to independent leagues and turned into a sidearm guy and made it.
Bro, the homie R.A. Dickey was an outfielder.
R.A. Dickey,
and then started throwing knuckleball.
So was Tim Wakefield.
Rick Ankiel's a good one.
Yeah, Ankiel. So, so there are those stories, right, that are really kind of cool. Hockey has some fun stories. You know why? Because once in a while you get the goalie that's a fireman and they need him in an emergency, and he comes off the fire truck and actually plays in like an NHL game.
You're like, wait a second, are they pulling the goalie? He's like, no, 4-alarm fire down the block. He's got to go.
You guys know that. Like, those stories have happened.
Yeah.
Like, recently, I think that's happened.
Yes, in the National Hockey League.
Which is always crazy. It's not just like a minor league thing. It's a real thing. So, the Ben Griffin story, which I really didn't know much about, but, he's in tears on the podium today after shooting 6 under through 2 days and in the mix. And actually, right now, he's one back. And this is a guy like that was trying out here, and they talk, we see Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas and Tiger Woods, and we saw this glorious lifestyle, and this guy's just trying to make it, man. Like, he's eating Uncrustables. That's
what I'm saying.
Sounds like life to me.
Yeah, like he's trying to get, like, pennies pinched together to make it to the next tournament and pay a caddy. And then he's like, all right, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. And he goes into the mortgage business.
Good business.
And then
Depends on the year.
He's playing a round of golf with, like, this guy in the mortgage business that he doesn't even know. But he plays 9 holes.
That would have been the move.
And the guy
to
starts
just hustle the dude?
Hustle people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good move. And I think the name is Lloyd Abbott that was on his shirt. Well, one thing leads to another thing. He finds out, like, his whole story. He's like, you should be playing out here, man. You're good. Like, too good.
Dude's $300 down on the day. He's like, you're really good at this.
and so he basically says, I'll pay your expenses for the next 2 years and give you a shot to go make it.
What?
That's what he did. And so
got someone underwrite him, yeah.
He basically had someone underwrite him, and here he is at the Players' freaking Championship, and he's one shot off the lead.
That's how you respond.
And he's in tears, like, telling the story. And I mean, the first-timer guy was in tears, the guy from Colombia that we featured this week that now lives in Jax Beach. I mean, I've never been around so many emotional golfers, but this is a journey and a half to get here sometimes. And I think we only see the Tigers and the Phils and the Justins and the Rorys and guys living the high life, And it can turn into the high life in a hurry. Take Kurt Kitayama. Guy had made $3.6 million his entire career, and I don't even know how long that is, Kasey. But still, $3.6 million is a lot. But you go taxes and people that are on your team and caddies, and like it's probably good money, but it's not like life-changing money. Then he wins at Bay Hill last week, and he makes $4.1 million just for winning. Boom.
Yeah.
Now that changes things.
It's insane. And again, that's the point, man. You see what's good, but it's not good for all of these guys. Like a lot of people are flying in and out of Jacksonville and off to the next spot just to try to make a cut and make some money. So you end up winning a couple times. It does change fast, though. If Kitayama wins again this year, I mean, he's
now
$7-8 million just on the wins.
Now he's in a different stratosphere, right?
Yes.
You change everything. You start
like,
flying private jets and stuff.
Well, you got to wonder how much of that they invest back into their business, their golf business, meaning the improvement of their facilities or their team, that kind of thing. I got to imagine it's not all just free money once you're winning.
Nah, they're like, let me get a jet.
There's some overhead there.
Forget the team. We need a jet.
You upgrade your strength conditioning coach or something, you know.
Your car.
Well, I think the other part about this is, Kasey, this comes at a time where they're really trying to push on the PGA Tour, like the stars, right? The guys playing the best golf. They're going to do some of these tournaments where it's limited field, no cuts, and they want their stars playing. And they want their stars hopefully committing. Because if you look, there's too much load management in PGA Tour golf.
But what happens if in those tournaments where you're not having a cut list, everyone makes it because they're the big names, and you still get stinky golf?
Well, I don't think these guys are so good. I don't think we know stinky golf.
Well, I mean, think about
are we
guys
getting
like
stinky golf right now, or is the course just too hard sometimes?
No, I don't think that's stinky golf, but I'm thinking about the guys who went over to live. Some of these guys whose maybe prime is behind them.
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
Phil
different.
Mickelson. And, like, I'm sure he's a big enough name where if he was still in the PGA and they're talking about these no-cut tournaments, he would be involved.
100%.
But he'd be smashing a plus 15 on the day.
But, Kasey, like, you know that this is the way the PGA Tour is trying to avoid that scenario is sooner or later you have to play into these things. Like, you have to do enough to play in. And
so maybe they do it
your
by rank
exemptions,
only.
Like,
yeah.
hey, guys, like, this is why we asked the question last week or 2 weeks ago. Has Tiger Woods played his last Players' Championship? His exemption runs out next year. Is he going to do enough to get back to a Players' Championship? Like, just because you won twice and you're the greatest maybe of all time doesn't get you in.
You should be able to get the automatic bid if you've ever won.
Well, they do that at the Masters.
Right.
They do.
Right.
But then you also have, like, 78-year-old guys playing the Masters.
Okay.
So, like, and that's kind of a cool thing. There's not a lot of them, but it's kind of cool. So, I don't know. My point being here is you miss the Ben Griffin stories, maybe. Now, Ben's got to still play in to be able to play in those events, too. But I think what's cool about these first-timers is we're getting these emotional guys, journeys, the stories, and you kind of want to root for them, man. It's life-changing stuff. I mean, Chad Ramey, who just made a 7 on the 17th hole, and then made a nice par, I think, on 18 to at least salvage that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is standing on the 17th hole at TPC Sawgrass, one of the most prestigious events in the world, at the most famous hole in the world, with the lead on a Friday afternoon at the Players. I mean, how nervous was that guy standing over that shot?
I mean, super. Accounting the fact that he hit in the water twice.
I know, but I don't blame him.
No, I don't either. You do what you got to do. Trevor Lawrence is on TV. Is that Kurt Busch?
Is that
Trevor
who that
Lawrence
was?
and Kurt Busch are on TV at the same time.
Was that Kurt Busch with him in the picture?
Yeah. They're kind of portraying it as if Kurt went up to get a picture with Trevor as like a fan. So shout out. You got other famous people seeing Trevor like, I need the selfie, dog.
There's a lot of that, though. Remember, did you see John Rahm, like that interaction on the PGA Tour?
Before he got
Where
mad
he
at
was
Marcel,
staring at
yes.
Marcel?
Before, yeah. Like, he was like, hey, man, I've been following you, love you. Like, Rahm's a fan.
It's a weird thing to say to Marcel.
It's like, usually the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback is like going up to John Rahm and like, man, great to see you, man. I love watching you hit the ball. It's the other way around. You got the world #1 golfer saying, I love you, Trevor Lawrence. I love watching you play.
So cool. Second year.
Usually it's like, hey, how'd you get on this side of the ropes, guy? I don't know who you are.
Usually it's, hey, what are you doing
Let's move
next February? Not much. Cool. Why don't we go hang out?
Let's move it.
Hey, we debuted a new show last Monday night. We got it coming up again Monday, 7 o'clock, called No Gate Fees, about high school baseball and softball. We also have a topic. I almost want to bring the topic up now because I don't know if you guys saw me tweet about it or not. There have been a couple of tweets this week about youth baseball travel tournaments. Like 6-year-olds in Houston traveling and have 4-year-olds on the team.
Oh my
and
gosh.
another one like, here's our players to watch, and it's like players select 9U something, like players to watch at 9U. that they are ranking.
That is insane.
Yeah, we might get into that kind of topic. Like the good and bad of travel ball might be the topic this Monday. We're going to have a bunch of different topics. But the reason I mention it, with no gate fees presented by Nimick Buick GMC coming up on Monday at 7 o'clock for episode 2, and Kasey will join us for that. Our two top teams in our power poll in baseball, Trinity Christian and Providence, are actually playing right now. So keep you posted on that one. We'll have results and see how the rankings might change.
Friday.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. They actually had it at 7. They moved it up because of the weather, and I think they actually started it even a little bit earlier. So we'll keep an eye on that. A really good game early in the season in high school baseball. All right, let's get back to some football talk. You shared with us an article of overrated, underrated on the free agency side. Aaron Schachter, topic guy. Aaron, what time do you start tweeting us?
Tweeting you?
I mean, texting us.
Around 5:30-ish.
It's great. Like, I get up. I love it, actually. I'm like, what is this? Who's calling? Who's texting me? And then like, oh, yeah, shoot, Aaron's up.
It's just
He's always up.
It's just your friendly neighborhood radio person.
I appreciate that about you, too.
I just
Kasey,
swiped
meanwhile,
that away.
Kasey doesn't, like, Kasey is in non-response mode now until 1:30.
Well aware.
Yeah.
We've hit the time with him. I like it, though. At least we know. Like, I'm cool with what we know.
It's tough. Sorry, guys.
It's fine. I've just come to accept it. It's fine.
I'll start replying when I get my full paychecks. Once again,
He does reply to inappropriate texts. He just doesn't reply to the important work text.
Also true.
That's a good point. All right, so in this overrated, underrated piece, what was your takeaway?
Well, there are a few here where I was like, is this person really overrated or underrated? And then others where I'm like, yeah, I think I got to take this to the boys because I'm with them on this. I do want to start at quarterback, though, because he's calling Andy Dalton, and by he, I mean Seth Walder, calling Andy Dalton overrated. Not that I think Andy Dalton is some world burner or a top 7 quarterback in the NFL, but when was the last time you thought Andy Dalton was great and then he underperformed your expectations?
I've never actually thought Andy Dalton should be rated.
Yeah, so I don't understand the overrated nameplate here. As a matter of fact, if anything, Andy Dalton far exceeded my expectations last year.
Yeah, that was last year. You guys don't remember a time, though, and this was whenever he was getting drafted. I don't even know what year he got drafted now. That we thought the Jags were in on Andy Dalton, and then they didn't. And it was Andy Dalton like a second-round pick. Is that how that worked? I'm pretty sure. I think he dropped to the second round, and Cincinnati got him. Pretty sure.
Andy Dalton was the second round, 35th pick.
Yeah.
2011.
And did the Jags pass him twice then, first round, and then did they pass him?
I mean, most likely.
I mean, likely the Jags did not.
2011?
Was that the year they got Gabbert then?
Yeah, they did not pass on him twice. The third Cincinnati got him with the third pick in the second round.
Okay. But there was some talk about should they get Andy Dalton. I think that might have been the year 11 would have been the year they drafted Gabbert.
It is Blaine Gabbert, yeah.
And so they traded up to get Gabbert instead, where they could have sat pat and then maybe, or moved back and got Dalton, whatever, how they wanted it to work. Well, at first people weren't high on Dalton, like around here. I was
Offensive Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowl selection his first year in the league.
Well, and then that stuff happened, right? And here's the thing with Andy Dalton, and I know this became a thing in Cincinnati, but he ended up going to the playoffs, 5 years in a row or something?
Oh, yeah.
And they could never win a game.
Yeah, they didn't win.
But he did
on Marvin
go.
Jones, though.
And so, Andy Dalton was a thing for a bit. And then Andy Dalton kind of just becomes a different thing.
Yeah.
Which is now Andy Dalton was a little bit like in this respect. Not as high. His ceiling didn't ever get as high as this guy's. But he actually had more longevity, I think is the best way to describe it. Carson Wentz. So Carson Wentz looked like he was on this rise. And Andy Dalton looked like, this guy's going to be pretty good. And then he kind of flattened, Dalton did, but they were still going to playoffs and winning enough games. And now we see what's happened with Wentz. And then Dalton's career kind of followed that. All right, nobody wants him anymore as a starter. He's going to go be a backup. No, you don't like that?
I would go with you on Wentz, except for I think Wentz ascended higher earlier.
Well, that was my point. He hit a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Wentz did. He did.
Did he?
Well, he was an MVP candidate.
Didn't win it.
No, I know, but he was on his way to maybe winning.
Yeah, and he hurt himself. He was far and away the best quarterback in the league before he got hurt.
Yeah. He was far and away the best quarterback in the league.
He was up for
they had a whole Tom Brady in the league still. But the point is,
we'll go over the numbers, but he was, I think, wiping the floor with literally, he was having a Jalen Hurts type amazing, not necessarily.
But Andy Dalton was never an MVP.
No, he wasn't. But Yeah, I mean, I think although Andy Dalton in this is overrated, I mean, he's still, 10 years in, going 18-9 in the touchdown interception department. Like Carson Wentz is 5 years in now, and he can't stay on a team.
Yeah, I just feel like the rise and kind of fall because they wanted him out in Cincinnati, right? They had more. And let's be honest, he came in and did that, Kasey, but he wasn't in the plans to do that in New Orleans. Like, this wasn't supposed to be his team.
In New Orleans, he was supposed to be a backup.
He was supposed to be a backup. Like, he had gone to backup role. Now that's the role Carson Wentz will now take in the NFL. So, overall, I think Andy Dalton's actually had himself a decent career.
Career-wise, according to Pro Football Reference, they compare his career to the career of these guys. Phil Simms, Jay Cutler, Joe Flacco, Jaworski, Jim Everett, Ken Stabler, Craig Morton. So, I mean, I think they kind of nail it. Like, these are guys who are better than medium.
Yeah.
But not legendary.
When was Flacco a high draft pick?
I think he's a first-rounder, wasn't he?
See, because that weighs in here for me. Like, if you're a second-round pick, I feel like you kind of – now, granted, you were picked the third pick in the second round. So
Flacco was the 18th pick overall in 08.
Yeah. Like, I think he needs credit for being a second-rounder and came in and did what he did.
I'm with you.
You know, like Carson Wentz was picked second. He had no choice.
Yeah, Wentz was supposed to deliver. You're right.
No, that's a good point. I like what you're saying there. And then what's interesting is kind of the guy that is on the underrated part of this is Teddy Bridgewater. So, like, you took, Aaron, you said you're a little surprised, right, that Dalton is considered the overrated category.
But also, yes, surprised that Bridgewater's, like, not that I'm surprised he's underrated because I do think he's counted out because of his injury history, but I love Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Brent, you left early the last couple of days. Aaron has talked himself into, rather than Aaron Rodgers, both Baker Mayfield and Teddy Two Gloves himself, Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, Jets had Teddy Bridgewater. It would be a return to his home.
And you're in for it. You're potentially in.
When Teddy was on the Jets, they traded him before he ever played a game. But I would have loved to have seen him.
Yeah, so things were kind of off the rails when you left. But this underrated Teddy Bridgewater thing is actually perfect for Aaron because he thinks he'd look great in green and, I guess, white.
It's funny. I'm going to flip with you, Aaron.
Okay.
I don't think – whatever on the Andy Dalton overrated thing, I just think Andy Dalton's had himself a decent career. It's not a great career. It's a decent career, though. I actually don't think Teddy Bridgewater's underrated at all. I think he's just a guy. And – I think he obviously had a tough injury. He might have had a different career, not that injury. Now he's had to kind of work his way in and out of stuff. I think he's really, like, I wouldn't call him underrated. Like, he doesn't do much for me. I'd rather start with a young guy than have Teddy Bridgewater, unless I already have a young guy, and then I need someone in my backup room.
Like Zach Wilson.
Teddy Bridgewater is not a quarterback that will lose the game for you on an interception. Teddy Bridgewater is a decent game manager. He hasn't had an opportunity to run an offense full time because when he gets that opportunity, he ultimately ends up on a stretcher on the way out of the stadium. But that being said, Teddy Bridgewater's a guy you can count on. I wouldn't call him underrated or overrated.
You can't count on him to win you a game, though. You can count on him to not lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
don't you want to win?
I know, man.
Oh, the Jets don't count on quarterbacks to win.
Does that work anymore in the NFL? Quarterback not losing the game?
Yes.
Does it?
Oh,
Where?
Yeah. Daniel Jones just made $40 million a year doing it.
That's actually fair.
That's actually a good one. That's a good one.
Garoppolo's about to get paid on it. Derek Carr's going to get paid on it. I mean, these are guys
but
you don't win on their shoulders.
Garoppolo does more. Garoppolo does more than just game manage.
So does Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr does it. If they're winning, Derek Carr does. I'll give you a guy who
Jones is right, though.
Daniel Jones is a good one. That's a good one there because although I do think his legs matter. See, that's another thing about Bridgewater, man. He's not a runner at all. Like,
he was mobile, though. He wasn't you're right. He wasn't a runner, but he was mobile.
I have a hard time even gauging it because I haven't seen him play in so long. It feels like just hasn't played a lot. But
300 rushing yards in his second year when he went to the Pro Bowl.
I mean, his second year now. It's like 10 years ago.
It was like the last 16-game season he had.
But like because of that, I won't say because of that, but the way the style he played is what ended up having him almost have to lose a leg. Like that's how serious it was. So he's not going to be that guy anymore because he's like, hey, you know what I want to keep? Both my legs.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, like Carson Wentz. That's what happened to him. Like he can't run anymore. Like he got hurt and stuff. And I even think Garoppolo was more mobile early on in his career, and I think he's been not as mobile as of late. But he still can move a bit. You know me, I'm stuck on that part. I do like your question though. Can game manager is Geno Smith a game manager?
Yes. Yes.
$35 million. I've been telling you, this game manager gig
He's
is
a
good.
game manager with great wide receivers and running
exactly.
back.
Like he is. He's a game manager, but like also there were times this year where he made a play. He made the throw. Now, granted, DK made a play. Tyler
Game
Lockett
managers
made a play.
make plays. You're not counting on them to make all the plays. You're counting on them to make it when it counts and not lose you the game. That's game manager.
Game managers can win games, but game managers used to be able to win Super Bowls. Trent Dilfer, who was it with the Bucs? Was it Rob Johnson?
It was, wasn't it?
Rob Johnson?
Yeah.
No.
When he won?
Brian Johnson.
No.
His name was not Rob.
No, it was
There
Brian.
was a Rob Johnson.
It was Rob Johnson. That was the Jags one.
Rob Johnson was the Bills.
Yeah.
It's Brian Johnson.
It's Brian Johnson? Did he win that year with the Bucs, like early 2000s?
2002.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, he was game manager guy, right? For them?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I was 4.
I was
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson. Sorry.
We're
Gosh,
idiots.
I was stuck. I was
Do you
like, I know
think-
it's not Brian
What do you mean
Johnson.
we're idiots?
Brian
I was
Johnson's
4.
the new
I'm
coach.
sorry. Casey's an idiot.
Brian
years
Johnson's like
old.
the Philadelphia offensive coordinator now.
Do you think Mac Jones is a game manager in New England?
Good call. See, it's like I think Geno Smith could be fit in this category. I think you said a good one with Daniel Jones. I think Mac Jones kind of does fit in this category. Like, is he going to elevate you to the point where he's winning on his arm? I don't see that. So I think that's a really good call.
Would you call
there.
Tannehill a game manager?
At this
Big
point,
time.
probably, yeah. And they've almost put him in that role, right? Because there's so much of a load on Derrick Henry.
My man said, "Can you manage the game with no wide receivers?" He's like, "No, not really. I can try."
And so
Not too many more after that. I mean, Carolina's been a mess, so you can't really look at them. Atlanta didn't have a quarterback.
But all of these are pretty good teams.
They're good teams.
roster-wise.
There's
that's
not
where
too
your
many
game
game managers in
do
the
it,
league.
though.
Yeah.
I just don't know I feel like you need the guy to make plays now at that position. And if you look in the playoffs this year, right, Trevor had to make plays. You got Mahomes. You got Josh Allen. You've got, who else am I missing? Burrow. I mean, that's the kind of quarterback we're talking about now. We're not talking about the Brad Johnsons and Trent Dilfers of the world. I just don't know if it works anymore. And maybe, guys, because the quarterbacks make so much money, you can't build the team like the Baltimore Ravens built around Trent Dilfer, where you have this historic defense.
Yeah, I think it actually is more of a product of the modern football game. And I think there's such a premier importance on quarterbacks right now. That's what's elevated the positions like wide receiver, and now we're starting to see tight end as well, where you get a lot more of these X-Factor guys coming out of college, looking more like wide receivers than tight ends. But I do think the game is always evolving, right? And I don't think it'll be like this forever. I think the next iteration is a move back towards the run. We're seeing it a little bit on teams like Philadelphia, and I think that's going to morph not just into more importance on the running back, not just by committee, but the 3-down back, but also the quarterback who doesn't necessarily need to make all the throws. You just need to be the threat. You need to be able to RPO in a reliable way that scares a defense.
Zach Wilson's going to be so good in that NFL.
But honestly, in that NFL, he can play. That's why they drafted him. And they're drafting guys like him.
No, they
Malik
did not
Willis.
draft him because of that. They drafted him to play and
They
make
drafted
plays.
him because he throws off schedule, but also because he can move. They wanted to be a run team.
You know, I think the farthest the last game manager went, and I'm probably just missing somebody here, but is Blake Bortles.
I mean, it depends on how you feel about Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think that was a different scenario. Like, we just don't know.
I think he's goated. So, like, I don't think he's a game manager. I think he's a guy that wins you games. But anyway.
But he went to as far as Blake did anyway, right?
Well, Nick Foles?
Yeah, Nick Foles is good, but man, did he make plays? Like you know
really
what Nick
did.
Foles did in
Yeah.
that playoff run, Casey? Nick Foles was like Flacco. Like, he turned into Flacco for the postseason. And Flacco probably number-wise was even better. But for whatever reason, Nick had like this magic about him for a month that was just silly.
So, are you saying Garoppolo not a game manager?
I think Garoppolo plays. See, I think Garoppolo plays above game manager status. I think he's super accurate with the football. I think he makes some terrific throws. He makes good decisions as well. But he's not playing scared like game manager kind of plays scared.
Well, then Nick
and that's why I
Foles-
disagree with a little bit with Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones makes a lot of plays with his legs. Game managers don't usually make plays with their legs.
I don't know. Maybe I got to watch more Daniel Jones highlights, but I don't remember seeing too many Daniel Jones highlights where he gets the ball snapped to him and then takes off for 60. It's more like he's running for his life and eludes 3 tacklers.
He did that one. He fell at the end, but he did have that one big run where he
against
just took
the
it.
Jaguars. Yes.
No, that was a
in the
couple years
fourth quarter
ago,
or something like that.
Taylor Heineke is a guy that's like, again, Washington has game managers. They had Carson Wentz, who, quite frankly, was a game manager other than against the Jags in the opener. And Heineke has to be like a game manager in his role. And now what else will they do?
Would you call Rex Grossman a game manager?
Yes.
Sexy Rexy.
That was
I'm
06.
going to give you the game manager that has the best stats of all time that I think people would put him in this class. And it's a guy who we talked about earlier with John Bachman. Kirk Cousins. Because does he do anything to elevate?
Yes.
Does he?
Yes.
Does he make, like, these wow throws? Does he run? Does he, like, when does he put the team on his back?
He doesn't run, but what he does is he makes gorgeous throws for very talented wide receivers. Gorgeous throws for Justin Jefferson, for Adam Thielen, for TJ Hawkinson, and even for Dalvin Cook. He makes gorgeous throws.
Over Kirk Cousins.
That being said, because he doesn't elevate in a way that a Pat Mahomes does, or a Peyton or a Brady or those guys, then yeah, he's a game manager. Listen, by the way, to this stretch of game management in the Super Bowl, right? From the 2000 Super Bowl, you got Dilfer versus Kerry Collins. That's the game manager bowl right there, late Kerry Collins. Then you've got, skip a year, then you've got Brad Johnson versus Rich Gannon. Then you got Jake Delhomme the following year. Call him a game manager or not, however you want to call him.
Yes, he would have been.
Matt Hasselbeck in 05.
Yep.
Rex Grossman in 06.
Sexy Rexy.
Then you skip a couple of years and you find that's when you find Flacco in 12. But that's pretty much it for game managers. So you go through a run from like 00 to 10 where you have roughly 6 or 7 game managers over the course of those 10 years. And then you don't see it in the Super Bowl again, really.
True, and to the point, almost all those teams had like super legit defense
and run games.
True. And that's my point, I guess, of the conversation was you could do it, and you just illustrated that you could do it and get to the Super Bowl. I'm not sure you can anymore.
Well, I think it'll go back to it. I just don't think you can today. I think at some point a team will have a monster running attack with a monster defense and not invest in the quarterback because of it, because you got resources other way, and they'll make it far. And you know it's a copycat league. So that in the offseason, 1 or 2 other teams that are close to that roster will be like, we could do the same thing. And then you'll start to see the tide turn again. I think once you having to pay quarterback $70 million a year, guaranteeing 65 of it, they got to find a different way to win.
Yeah, I don't know, though, if they will. Like, that's a good point. But I think if they are paying the quarterback, there's no way in hell you can have that kind of defense. And
yeah, you're right.
The other thing is I think quarterback is played at too high of a level right now. Like, I think everybody's going to play quarterback at a pretty darn good level that you're not bringing in the manager anymore. And the guy that can move also can make plays with his legs, which kind of takes the game manager role away. If you can run, you're not really a game manager, in my opinion, most likely. Unless you're like Tyrod Taylor.
Love Tyrod Taylor.
He's game manager. I know everybody loves Tyrod.
So you'd want him on the Jets, though?
I would take him in a heartbeat.
Hey, Brent, as we move off of that stupid statement, did they pull the golfers off the course?
Everyone's leaving, yeah.
That's a good question. I'll find out and have that answer. And also, did you see the shot on 17 that just happened? We'll explain that. Brent Friends live from the Players' Championship, sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller, and we might be in a delay here at TPC Sawgrass. We'll update you on that when we come back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mix of clouds and sun, warm and breezy today with some late day and evening showers and a few thunderstorms, so keep an eye to the sky and an umbrella nearby. As we reach the low 80s, clearing and cooler later tonight near 50, and sunny and nice tomorrow. Your Saturday high 70 to 75. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jags.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Now get 0% interest for 5 years with nothing down.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
We've been in Jacksonville now for 15 years, and as you know and I know, we have to be ready for those hot days. And this time of year, the cooler temperatures, too. Need that AC working and then be ready to turn on the heat for a day or two. Bold City Heating and Air has us ready. ready. They have for years. Can't say enough about their customer service. The communication, they are prompt, they are clean, they are good. Bold City Heating and Air, and right now, take advantage of their 0% financing on all purchases and just $97 for a tune-up. Be ready for the chilly weather and the heat. Bold City Heating and Air, boldcityac.com.
Earn more at Community First Credit Union. We make it easy with great rates, fewer fees, and accounts that deliver returns, like CDs and IRAs. With short and long-term options, we can help you reach your goals now and in the future. So save confidently and just be yourself with Community First. Add an account now at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey folks, Dave Benyon here with Zero Res. I'm here today with my son Ammon. Ammon is the air duct cleaning manager for Zero Res. So Ammon, many people ask, who should I hire to clean my air ducts?
Well, there's a few things to look for. First, does the company have an HVAC contractor's license? In the state of Florida, you must have this to legally clean air ducts. Second, is the technician properly trained? Zero Res technicians are trained and certified by the National Air Duct Cleaning Association. Third, what kind of system are they using? Zero Res uses the most powerful truck-mounted system in the industry that generates over 15,000 cubic feet per minute of air movement. Most companies use a portable unit at around 5,000 CFMs. That's a third the power of Zero Res. Cleaning air ducts is all about power.
So, are you running any deals?
This month, I'm giving $50 off the air duct cleaning, and if you mention WOKV, I'll give you another $50 off your dry vent cleaning.
Wow, so I can get up to $100 off?
That's right.
Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage, all at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 12 months zero interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals. Financing at time of sale for new orders only. The USS Orlick is a one-of-a-kind floating ship museum. Come visit her in downtown Jacksonville.
There's a feeling in the air where people seem to care in Jacksonville.
The Orlick, a Gearing-class destroyer with 18 battle stars, is one of the most distinguished ships of all time, and the most since the end of World War II. Jacksonville is a military town, and the Orlick honors all those that have served our great country. She's a great location for special occasions and meetings. Weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, memorial services are all spectacularly displayed on her massive deck. The Orlick is also a one-of-a-kind location for a business meeting. Your dream event can come to life aboard this historic destroyer. To find out more, visit jacksnavalmuseum.org or call 904-789-SHIP.
This is where I'm meant to be. Hello, Jacksonville. Hello, Jacksonville. I'm where I'm meant to be.
Find out more about holding your next event on the Orlick. 904-789-SHIP.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message data rates may apply.
Nice run. It's great being back out on the mountain. You sort of disappeared for a while. Everything okay?
Between you and me, it was lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah. The doc told me once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to stay in shape. That's why I started taking Nugenix Total T. It's made a huge difference.
Oh, I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
For sure. It's the #1 doctor-recommended testosterone booster. It boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. My wife, my boss, my kids. Everyone has noticed a change in me.
Do they still give out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yes, just send them a text.
Guys, text HATCH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC and Walmart. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back in shape fast, absolutely free. Text HATCH to 321-321. That's HATCH to 321-321.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to the Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass, where play has been suspended, and according to the players, suspended for the day. They're not going to try to fire this thing back up. So probably about 2 hours of daylight left. So once the rains, and really right now it's lightning in the area, that's why they've suspended play. And that storm cell must look at least big enough, probably for the next half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even longer, and then they're not going to try to get guys back on the golf course. So a lot of golf will be played on Saturday here at the Players. It's the first time we're getting any rain, and now it's starting to come down a little bit here outside our tent area, right behind the 10th hole and kind of in between 10 and 16 and where you would normally find, if you've been around here, the 18th green too. So we're kind of positioned in the middle of all that. And umbrellas are out, people are leaving the course, and play has been suspended here at the 2023 Players' Championship. Yeah, kind of a bummer. But again, one of the things that plays a role here is the March move, and we have daylight savings where the clocks come back this weekend.
This weekend.
So we don't have as much daylight,
Scum.
you know. 6:30 was the time they called it yesterday, and so there's really only 2 more hours to play. We'll have a lot of golf on Saturday at the Players' Championship. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. We are live from the Players, Brent Friends. Sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller all week from the Players' Championship. And we were talking about overrated, underrated, and we got through 2 guys.
2 humans, yeah.
Sorry, we get off on tangents. That was kind of a fun topic, though, if you don't mind me saying.
For sure.
So keep us going. Overrated running back, David Montgomery. Donta Foreman, underrated. How do you feel about it?
I'm with him on Donta Foreman. I don't think anyone was talking about this guy until the Carolina Panthers essentially started tearing it down last season. In comes Donta Foreman and just wrecking balls it. Great job by that dude.
Wrecking balls it. Nice.
I kind of like Foreman, too. I like him in the underrated role.
No, I like him. I suggested a couple weeks ago that if the Jags were looking for that player, the big-time running back, he's a guy that you should be interested in. He runs downhill, angry. It's the guy you don't have in this running back room, and I don't know how underrated he is actually going to be. I know you do have some big-name running backs that will be available, but, he fills a role. He'll get signed, maybe before David Montgomery. David Montgomery's kind of in no man's land because, he's talented, but he's proven that he's not a 3-down back, so what's the market like for that guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keep going real quick. Paris Campbell, I agree, overrated. I don't think he's done much.
You guys really don't like Paris
No,
Campbell.
I don't. What has he done?
I don't have any thoughts on Paris Campbell, but
I don't think he's had a real chance to do anything on that
He
team.
managed just 1.1 yards per route run this year.
But he had Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan.
How can Jacoby Myers be underrated?
Baby.
How can he be underrated?
He's
He's about to get
underrated and also the
$16 million.
number 1 free agent wide receiver. This is such
So
nonsense.
how can you be underrated when he's the number 1
Nonsense.
free agent wide receiver?
Okay, so if the article sucked, why do we print it out, Aaron?
I printed it out
we
because I
could
thought it was
yell at it.
nonsense.
This is just so
This
true.
is good.
Jacoby Myers is unbelievably underrated. This guy is going to be just a force, whatever team he goes to. Doesn't really matter. Just get him an offensive coach. It's not Matt Patricia, and things will be fine.
How many bets are on that board? How many bets do we have on that board?
We need to
Because
put
I'd like
some
to
more
make
on.
We
you
actually
a bet.
haven't written any of these down. But
I'd like to make a bet that Jacoby Myers is going to be a highly disappointing free agent. Maybe
with
not to
you.
the point of Kenny Galladay.
No, I'm with you,
but
Brent.
I think he's going to be disappointing.
Yes.
I'll take you both on that. Now, granted, you got to remember, Brent doesn't pay bets. I'm still waiting for one that I forget something happened early in the NFL season. Let's put some numbers to it, huh?
Yeah, well, you got to.
All right, Jacoby Myers, 70 receptions, 70 and a half, over under.
70 receptions, hard
70
over.
and a half.
Hard over.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the number, and I'm not signing up for your crappy projections, Aaron Schachter.
All right, so you think he's going to hit 70. Here's what he's hit in his career: 26, 59, 83, 67.
So 70's a slam dunk over.
It's not a slam dunk over
He's
at all.
He's going
He's
to
done
be
it
a $16
once.
million guy. They better throw it to him.
They didn't have an offensive coach last year. He had 67 catches. He goes to a real team that tries.
He had 83 receptions on 126 targets.
I'll put $100 on he has 70 catches. I don't even know if we're allowed to do this.
96 targets last year. It's not like they didn't throw to him.
Don't backtrack.
96 targets. He had 67 receptions.
100 smacks on it.
Wherever he goes, you think he's going to be a number one receiver?
Dude, people have 70 catches in the league like it's nobody's business.
He better be a number one receiver. They're
Okay.
thinking of paying him 15 to 17
How many
million.
targets do you think the number one gets? Because if it's more than 96, he's like a super number one. I'm telling you, I think 70 is going to be tough.
I don't feel like he's going to be as good as 15 to 16, 17 million dollars.
80 receptions,
You
Brent?
think he's
What are
going
you
to be
saying?
as good as Christian Kirk? No,
Not even close.
I don't.
Not even close.
So, yeah, I would put the number right around 80, and then I'll take your under.
Over.
But I don't even know if
You're
catches
taking over
matter.
80?
It's like,
Yep.
I need a. How about I'll take under 1,000 yards. How about that?
Yeah,
it's tough.
sure.
It's a tough one.
I'll also bet you that it's raining at the players right now.
Kasey thinks he's going to be a 1,200-yard guy.
I didn't say
Kasey
that.
is on drugs. Can we get a doctor in here? Kasey, have you been hanging out with Aaron Rodgers in some dark cave somewhere?
Me and the boy, the Al-Shawaska. What's it called?
Hallucinating that Jacoby Myers is some number one wide receiver.
He's good. I don't know if he's going to have 1,200 yards. That's insane. But like 80 catches all day. The problem is he might get big money from one of these teams that has cap space and sucks. So, like...
so then you'll have excuses.
Like,
Okay.
if he has to go to Arizona, that's going to be tough. If he goes to Chicago, I'll actually feel really good about it because
Guys
Justin
catch
Fields.
80 passes in Arizona?
The yards, you moron. I'm fine with the catches.
You said everyone catches 80 passes.
I will put $100 on the catches right now. It's the yards.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What's the yards?
That's what we got to figure out.
1,000 yards.
I got to think about it.
He just called you
okay. Number one wide receiver with 900 yards. It's a real
Depends
top
on what
flight player
team
right
he
there.
goes to.
Oh, my goodness.
I think the quote was, "It's the yards, you moron,"
Yes.
and then pounded the table a few times.
That
You
is
got
what
Kasey a little fired up there. I kind of like it.
That's what I learned
Start
today. I'm
getting
a
in his
moron.
pocket, and that's all you got to do.
you
All right,
go.
I want one other guy on this list. We could go over some more, but I don't think there's a lot of names that are fun.
I got one or two more. Go ahead.
Overrated Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah, that's
Is
one of
he
them I wanted to
overrated?
bring up.
No.
He was last year.
My man's is underrated.
I mean, he's playing on a big contract, and he provided no value whatsoever to the Colts.
I mean, no value?
I mean, 9.5 sacks, but they're paying him like he's getting 15 sacks.
9.5 sacks, by the way, would lead the Jags
Yeah, 9.5
by
sacks would be
multiple
pretty good.
sacks.
That's not the standard you want to be comparing.
Oh, you're right. You're right. But 9.5 sacks would be throwing a parade for
Pass
somebody.
rush win rates declined from 21% to 20 to 18 to 14% over the last 4 seasons. Overrated. Overrated. He's mid.
Hey, mid.
18% run stop win rate. It ranked 38 out of 43 qualifiers.
He can't stop. We know he can't stop the run.
But he can't win the pass rush either.
Well, tough situation.
I don't think
Maybe he's a
an
number one wide
overrated
receiver.
guy. I don't think he's an underrated guy, really. I think he's – what is he making now? Is he like in the $12 million category?
Might be more than that. Let me look it up.
But I think he's a good player. Like, he's a good piece. I wish he was still here getting 9.5
I actually think
sacks.
if he came back here, he'd have a good season. I think once he left, it kind of all fell apart for him, didn't it?
Well, not falling apart. Like, he's been fine. I mean, look at his numbers, man. He's got like 63 career sacks. He's tracking to have an over 100 sack career. The problem with how he left was he was trying to be paid as a top flight edge rusher. And he's not that. He is not this. He's not TJ Watt, right? He's not even like the Boses. He's not those guys. Now, you can still make a lot of money in this league without being those guys. But Jan's a very good complimentary. In fact, I would sign up both Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker for Jan's numbers next year right now.
So he's a free
Right
agent.
now.
He doesn't have numbers for next year, but
What was he paid last year?
Last year he had a base of 5, a roster bonus of 8. His cap hit was 13.
Man, I mean, that's nothing. Like, that's nothing for a 10.
The year before, he had a base of 1, a roster bonus of 2, a restructure bonus of 2, a cap hit of 5, but a dead cap hit of 21. So he's coming off a big deal on that previous contract.
We did this like last year, and I forget how it panned out, but it's something like we went to how many guys have over 13 sacks in the season? How many guys had over 10? How many guys had over 8?
Oh,
and
that's
there
right.
ended up being like 20 guys in the National Football League had over 8 sacks. 20. Like, that's it.
But
there are
he's
32 teams.
He's playing on a team with guys like DeForest Buckner and Shaq Leonard when he's healthy. I mean,
wow,
it's
but he
not like
wasn't
Shaq
at
didn't
all.
play it at all. Yeah.
He didn't play
it's
at all.
not like Ngakoue is out there by himself on that defense. It's not a bad defense.
Well, I'm just saying 9.5 sacks is a pretty valuable number. Like, we should do that exercise again in the next couple of days, or, well, not a couple of days. It's the weekend. But next week. Look at the sack numbers and where the threshold is for guys over 15, for guys over 12, for guys over 10. Like, really, what's the fair barometer
Yannick
for
was
a
in
guy?
21st place. 21st.
But he's automatic to have between 8 and 11. He's not going to have 13. He's not going to have 5. He's like automatic. This is why I love the Calais Campbell signing back in the day, because you knew where he was. He was between like 6 and 10 sacks every year you were going to get. And then guess what? He gave you like a monster season instead. So when you know a guy's going to get something, like right now it's hard to pick with Josh Allen. You don't know if he's going to give you 10.5. He has the capability, but he might also give you 6. And we don't even have one of those things for Trayvon Walker yet. All right, let's take a break. It is raining now at TPC Sawgrass, the Players' Championship, and play is suspended in round 2. We'll give you an update on the leaderboard. Of course, we've got football at 5 coming up as well. An interesting baseball story coming out of Kasey's favorite event, the World Baseball Classic. Brent Friends, live from the Players' Championship, sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Stogie Fest, the Southeast premier cigar event, is back at Aromas March 24th through the 26th. It all kicks off Friday, March 24th at 6 p.m. with events throughout the evening. Saturday, enjoy the Stogie Feast, an exotic meat lovers dinner, followed by beer, scotch, wine, and of course, cigar samples. Stogie Fest Sunday starts at 11 a.m. and features cigar sampling, great food, a designer car show, and more. This event will sell out, so go to aromas.com to get your tickets today. That's aromas.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin-tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can trade in any brand water softener and receive $750 towards a new Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Are you getting engaged? Celebrating an anniversary or birthday?
You're in luck. It's Beards Diamond's most exceptional finance offer of the year.
5 years, 0% financing with nothing down.
Yes, shop Beards Diamond's everyday low price on anything in the store or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Then divide your total price by 60, and that's your monthly payment with absolutely nothing down.
How about a $6,000 three-stone designer setting?
You pay only $100 a month.
Or a $4,500 one-carat diamond solitaire pendant necklace.
You pay just $75 a month.
And every purchase at Beards Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime warranty.
Now you can go bigger.
And get her the diamond ring she's always dreamed about.
And spread your payments out for 5 years and pay absolutely nothing in interest.
All GIA certified diamonds and lab-grown diamonds are included in this spectacular offer.
But hurry, Beards Diamond's incredible 5 years interest-free financing with nothing down is only available for a limited time.
Shop now at beardsdiamonds.com or the St. John's Town Center.
Don't buy anywhere until you shop Beards Diamonds.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/Viagra. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/Viagra.
O'Reilly. Cleaning your fuel system can help your engine run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner on sale now. Buy one, get one free. Plus get 2 times O-Rewards points. Get more fuel-saving tips from the professional parts people at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Still overpaying for a razor? In this economy? Gross. At Dollar Shave Club, you can get a top-shelf shave at a regular shelf price. We've been hawking shaving products for years online, and we're excited to bring you the same great quality and low prices at a store near you. From high-quality stainless steel blades to super smooth shave creams, Dollar Shave Club's in the business of making your shave easier. Find Dollar Shave Club in the men's razor aisle. Getting your Dollar Shave Club razor wherever you want. Isn't that great?
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Back on ESPN 690, it's the Brent Friends radio show. Inclement weather has struck TPC Sawgrass. If you're watching the stream with us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook, you can see people run for your lives.
They do be running. Look, they are running right there.
Go. Guy in the red was going to win that one.
Dude in poncho is like, it's fine, I got a poncho.
It's lazy poncho, though. It's just clear plastic bag poncho. You hope to see a little style when the ponchos come out.
Hey, can we move whoever's halfway in front of the camera, please? I know your mic's not on, but you can hear me.
I'll tell you something else I'm happy to see at TPC in the rain.
Now get more in front of it.
The golf umbrellas. There's something very special to me about golf umbrellas.
Really? Big golf umbrella
Often
guy.
the biggest, the most protective.
That is fair. They do make a good golf umbrella.
I'll often be standing outside with other people who have umbrellas, and usually there's maybe one of them with like a supersized golf umbrella. I'm a little bit jealous, dare I say.
Really?
A little bit. A little bit. I'm like, man, I wish I had it. Because you have all kinds of real estate to move around.
There's plenty of ways to not get wet. I agree with you.
I've got one of these mini umbrellas in the car for convenience. But, you know, standing under that thing in the rain is like standing under a tiny umbrella in the rain. Exactly how you would expect it to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not convenient at all. Go ahead, Kasey.
So, yeah, no, I was just going to say, if you're just jumping in, Players Championship, done for the day, for the day officially, but they'll be back at it tomorrow. Your leader is a guy with a lot of letters in his last name. Christian with 2 A's is what I call him, last name. Zuden, Hout, Hoot.
God bless you.
Hut. That's what I was waiting for. At 8 under par. Also tied in the lead, apparently. I did not know this. Adam Svensson, the Canadian, tied for the lead at 8 under. And I know what you're thinking if you're not a diehard golf fan. Who are these people?
Oh.
What?
You said, I know what you're thinking if you're not a diehard golf fan. And I was thinking maybe his name was pronounced Stevenson, but it's Svensson.
I just went for it.
Yeah, no, that's what it is.
Thank you. The point of the story is, do you not know these people? That's okay, because that's what's going on at the Players' Championship. Colin Morikawa is T3. That's probably the first name you know. Scotty Scheffler, the number 2 player on the planet Earth.
Come on.
T6.
All right.
But again,
top 10.
Nobody's playing golf until tomorrow.
Top 10, bro.
Because it is raining at the Players' Championship. We got poncho walking. We got non-ponchos running.
I see a baby out there, too. It is, man.
That poor baby. That poor baby. So
watch out for the golf carts, folks.
It is a washout right now at TPC Sawgrass. Maybe Brent Martineau staying dry, but to be honest, we don't know. And we'll find out if he stays dry after this break. Brent Friends, ESPN 690. We'll be right back.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine.
If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Ready for some baseball? It's almost time for your Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Opening day is April 5th, and 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union has the deal. 1 week only, March 13th to the 18th. Stop by any 1-to-1 Financial branch and pick up BOGO Jumbo Shrimp ticket packages. Buy one, get one.
Yeah.
That's 20 game vouchers for just $1.95. No blackout dates, only the reserve seats.
Yeah.
Just hit up your hometown credit union 1-to-1. March 13th to the 18th. Get your BOGO and support the home team. Thirsty Thursday has never been better. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey pet lovers, Forever Vets has a new location just off 295 on Bay Meadows Road. Forever Vets' new central location will offer superior after-hours urgent care for your sick or injured pet. If your pet is suffering from urinary blockage, a laceration, poison, heat stroke, bite, or seizure, our loving veterinarians will be there to provide the immediate treatment your furry friend deserves. Visit our website for hours. And for the times you need a home away from home for your fur baby, Forever Vet's Central Location Pet Resort offers daycare and boarding. Our trained staff provides a happy, safe place for your pooch to play while you're away. Whether they relax in their air-conditioned VIP room or play outdoors in our huge heart-shaped pool, your four-legged baby will be treated like royalty until you return. If you're a new client, the first day of play is on us. Come tour our new facility and see everything Forever Vets has to offer, or visit our website at forevervets.com.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage. All at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 12 months zero interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals. Financing at time of sale for new orders only.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the
right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau. Check out Action Sports Jax weekdays from 3 until 6 on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After his third NFL season brought career highs in passing yards, touchdowns, completion percentage, and passer rating, the Dolphins pick up the fifth-year option on quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. He's now under contract for 2 more years. Patriots safety Devin McCourty announces his retirement today after 13 seasons, all in New England, including 3 Super Bowl titles. The Vikings cut wideout Adam Thielen today. The Minnesota native spent 10 years with the team, winding up 3rd on their all-time career catches list behind only Chris Carter and Randy Moss. If Kevin Durant can't play again for the Suns until the playoffs, ESPN's Kendrick Perkins says Durant may not be a factor right away.
That's the highest level of basketball. And I'm not saying that Kevin Durant is not going to be ready, but you could have setbacks. We don't know. But at the end of the day, we know one thing about the Phoenix Suns is that they don't have a deep roster.
Kendrick Perkins on Get Up.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! What are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Football at 5 hour is where we go next. And we will talk some football, but we'll also talk some golf and tell you that here at TPC Sawgrass, the Players' Championship, we are in a not just weather delay, but suspension of play here for day 2. They will finish round 2 of the Players' Championship tomorrow morning, and then they'll play round 3. Obviously, they'll have a cut line. So play is done for the day. Here on a Friday, we continue to see people leave the golf course, and storms have rolled in. We got a little lightning, not much, so it doesn't look like I'll get completely fried for you guys' pleasure.
Can you take out that thing Kasey packed in your bag, that big metal rod that sticks way up in the air?
Yeah. You want me to? I was trying to give you a good weather shot. Now I'm trying to get the camera right. This is too much on me, Kasey, right?
Yeah, I mean it's too much. You know, maybe try that. Yeah. Hold on.
How's that? No, that's not gonna work.
Can we just get
that's you.
Can we just get Bachman back on camera? Is that fine?
There we go. That's good.
Look at him.
Look at you, you TV star. You.
Well, I want to get that. Listen, I'm a TV guy, so I had to get the lights.
The lighting does look good
and everything. Right?
Kasey's gonna make some noise here, but the lighting does look really good right now.
Yeah, actually, I learned something new today about Aaron. It has to do with
Don't say it now. You got a whole hour.
About some stuff that's going on today, so I can't wait to share that with you, Brennan. It involves you, and it might make you uncomfortable.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay.
Been uncomfortable many a times.
Also,
a big shout out to boss man Jim. Jim's here helping out as we ran out of power. Like we got
Jimmy
the
Boogie's
power.
getting to it.
Yeah, it got wet, so we had to go find another outlet.
We were just trying to email him recently.
Just stole somebody's.
Now I know what he's doing. He's working lights for you.
Unplugged the other guys.
That's the best.
They'll find out in a couple minutes.
Yeah, they will. Blame it on Jim.
We're blaming it on Jim. Sorry, I have no idea.
Walking flak jacket. Come on.
He's just trying to help. Here we go. Football at 5. We were just talking about Jan, and that was an interesting conversation about the overrated, underrated. And I liked your list. Now we get back to some other things like tweets and golf and baseball, because I wanted to share this before I forget about it. Your favorite thing is the World Baseball Classic, Kasey Kurtz.
True.
Why do you love it so much, Kasey?
Because it's dope.
You're going there next week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
And did you see Japan and South Korea, I think, were playing? I think Japan beat them like 13-4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, they put it on.
I saw a number that said 46% of households in Japan were watching that game.
How cool is that?
It's awesome.
I mean, that gives you an idea. And, we get this idea about Japanese sports stars sometimes. And, of course, Ohtani was a central figure here. But they love baseball in Japan, too. And I'm assuming South Korea. I have a little bit less knowledge of that. But Ohtani is such a big star. My guess is there's a lot of Japanese media around him. We saw that with Hideki Matsui. I covered the Yankees a little bit from my time in Albany, and you would see a lot of the Japanese media. We've seen it in the past with like Hideo Nomo way back, and even around here, like the stars, like Hideki Matsuyama and others. That, it's a big deal, when you have a big-time star, and they travel, and they follow, and they chronicle and document. What I guess I didn't have a feel for is just how big like Ohtani and baseball and everything else would be. I mean, those are borderline Super Bowl numbers over there in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And Japanese, by the way, Japan's a big country. So that's like a lot of households watching TV and watching a baseball game in Japan.
And while they do play soccer over there, I don't think it's as populous a sport as you'll find maybe over in Europe or South America, something like that. I think baseball is it. Basketball is coming up close second these days. But baseball, obviously, the most popular sport out there.
Yeah, and there's like the stories of players like Ichiro and Hideki Matsui when they go back to Japan. They're like, they were already legends, but they're like larger than life because they went to America and like did it. So I can't imagine the reception for Ohtani, who is like the best player in Major League Baseball and comes back to like his home country in his prime, when he's like one of the best players on the planet.
Meanwhile, it always makes me laugh every offseason when there's a debate over who's going to get which Asian player that's coming into the league.
Yeah, true.
Meanwhile, it's almost always a coastal team. I've never seen a big-time Japanese or Asian free agent go to a Midwestern baseball team. It's always,
they don't go to Kansas City.
Yeah,
You're
they
right.
go to the Angels. They go to the Mariners, the Giants, the Mets, or the Yankees. That's where they go.
But is that just because those are the teams that have money?
No, that's the teams on the coasts where their audiences live.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I was just curious. I was just playing devil's advocate of.
No, I think that's why teams like the Angels, like the Giants, like the Mets and the Yankees go all in on these guys, because they're not just picking up a talented free agent. They're picking up a talented free agent with a built-in fan base in their market already.
Yeah, that has a market. Yeah,
I mean, that's why I think Ichiro went to Seattle.
Yes.
I mean, it was the location and.
Or you Darvish to the Padres, or Nomo to the Dodgers, or remember Matsuzaka on the Red Sox. That's a coastal team.
Well, Darvish started with Texas, which is
That's
interesting.
fair.
Now
That's
that you
fair.
say that.
That's
and
fair.
besides him, the only other one I can think of is Seiya Suzuki, who went to the Cubs this year or last year. But what's interesting about that is no one had ever went to Chicago, and that is a massive, huge city. So you thought there'd be appeal. There's two teams there. The Cubs are legendary. The White Sox stink, but they're still in Chicago. Like, you thought there'd be some appeal there, and there, other than Seiya Suzuki, has been the only real one to go.
I told you guys this story a couple years ago. We were doing, oh gosh, it's more than a couple years ago now. It's probably 6, 7. It must have been the first World Baseball Classic, because there haven't been a ton of them, right? This is like third, fourth one.
There haven't been a ton, but there's been more than 4.
Is there more than 4?
I
Because
think
it's
so.
every couple of years, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's every 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's every 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh. All right. So whatever. It was probably 8 years ago then, if that's the case. And we were in South Florida, and we were at a restaurant, and man, everybody was into it. Obviously, you've got, I forget who was playing. I think it was like Puerto Rico versus Dominican Republic, or maybe the United States was involved in the game. But obviously, we're at this like sports bar. Think of like a Miller Ale House type of place.
Well, I saw a ton of Major League talent in that game, though.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, but they just like wrapped their arms around it. And obviously, a big baseball culture in South Florida anyway. But to me, it hasn't hit. Kasey says he loves it, which is a little surprising. I know Kasey loves baseball and stuff, but I didn't know it would hit like World Baseball Classic like this. If you see some of the scenes in Japan and other places, it's like, wow, man, those crowds are really into it. Like, when they play in Miami, are they sold out? Is it going to be unbelievable?
Actually, every game in Miami is near sold out, and they just announced the United States and Mexico in the first round, and Phoenix is sold out. But like I think I told you this off the air, Brent. I don't think it was on the air, but the last time around in Miami, that's where the United States was, and they played the Dominican Republic, and it was sold out from the get-go. Tickets were incredibly expensive when you could have got them, and then on the resale market, it was insane. And not to incriminate myself, but myself included with some other fans jumped the fence to get into the stadium.
You're not jumping a fence.
I swear.
You're like rolling over a fence.
I swear. Dude, this was like 4 years ago. I was skinnier.
You're digging under the fence.
Rolling over the fence, and then the shirt gets caught.
Yeah, exactly.
None of that
He's just
happened.
hanging there with like a super wedgie happening. Come on.
I was mad sweaty. It wasn't the most elegant jump, but like
I've got a great visual of Kasey right now, man.
Wasn't the most elegant
nailed
jump.
it.
It wasn't. It wasn't
It's
perfect.
like a drunk racehorse trying to jump a hurdle.
But it got the job done, and that's kind of where you're at with this. And you have to hit the right market, but it will happen again in Miami this year. I guarantee you. Win the higher rounds, the later rounds. If you have a matchup between Japan and the United States, you're gonna have people jumping the fence. Miami security not that great.
I like baseball. I like baseball. I like basketball. I like FIBA better than the World Baseball Classic.
No, same thing. I mean, it is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get. I guess it takes me longer to get involved with it as much. Like, I'm not into it, but I'm intrigued by it, mostly because, like, of you, Kasey, and I've got other folks that are going down to Miami for it. I'm like, really? You bought a ticket? You're like that into it? Going. If you look at the United States lineup, the lineup's awesome. Now, they have no pitching.
Pitching staff is mid, but
Yeah,
they
but
got a great lineup.
The lineup's terrific. So, and just to see it in other countries, of course, I'm a baseball guy, so I like to see that. I think that's really cool, and I think it showcases. I think Scotty Bateman from FSCJ tweeted it out, and I think I retweeted him today. It shows you the passion for the game in other places. I don't think our eyes aren't always open to that. And I mean, it is a global game. There's no doubt about it. And to see that scene in Japan, I think, was really neat, and other places. And so it's cool. It's probably not for everybody. And it comes at a weird time. I think our clocks still have to get used to that still. It's like it's supposed to be spring training. We like laid-back spring training. And now we've got, big baseball that might matter. That kind of is a weird deal. And you're not getting the best players, especially pitchers, because they're trying to get into their seasons. So that makes sense. Timing is always off. NHL has this problem with the Olympics, I think. Or is it the Olympics? Yeah, they have it with the Olympics. That's tough. Sometimes it just is like that. But anyway, I thought it was worth talking a little bit about that Japan. And just how big Ohtani is. He's big here.
Yeah.
He's really big everywhere.
He's the GOAT.
He's getting there.
Your goat.
No, he is
Brent
the
Martineau,
goat.
Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, Players Championship suspended here during round 2 of the Players. We'll give you a leaderboard here in a couple minutes. Let's get to Twitter, and what do you have waiting for us today
Well, let's
on
start
a Friday?
with one of my favorite team, but a fan favorite from around here. Let's start with a Jeremy Fowler report where running back James Robinson will not be tendered by the Jets, per source. He'll be a free agent, and he will have interest. Rich Cimini then, quote, tweeting the Fowler report. This is not a surprise. A low tender would have been about $2.5 million, too much for a backup running back. Robinson, acquired in a midseason trade, did not produce as expected. My question for you guys, is there an opportunity for a little reunited and it feels so good? Or are we pricing ourselves out of the conversation?
We're not pricing ourselves out. I don't think the Jags want him.
I mean, they need a running back, but I guess they don't need James.
Nah,
Still a fan favorite.
I mean, they kind of gave him away for nothing, you know.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
really kind of told him to go.
And now they can get him back for nothing.
But do people do that? Do you outside of Aroldis Chapman that one time? Do you trade away people and then go re-sign with the team that said we don't want you?
I mean, it's a pretty ugly
doesn't
transaction.
happen.
Yeah,
That did happen, by the way. Chapman.
You know, James Robinson, I can't figure this out, and I wrestle with it because we had him on our show. I like him, so I'm a little biased toward him, and I love his story, and I kind of like what he's all about. It's just like this lunch pail guy. I don't think he's a throwback kind of player, in my opinion. He didn't care about all the flash and the lights and the attention. He didn't really want it. But he's also a mystery to me because I'm just wondering if, did we see it all? Did we get everything out of James? And why didn't they play him? Why didn't they want him? And I think I know why they didn't want him here in Jacksonville, because they had to open the door for ETN. So that makes sense to me. And I've always said he needs more carries here, and you can't get him to him. So I think I nailed that part of it. It's not that they didn't like James, didn't respect James, didn't like his skill set. It just wasn't a fit because of the amount of carries you would have to give him. But then the Jets go, and they don't even use him. They trade him for him, and they don't even use him. And now it leaves me here with a young player that I think has the skill set to be a good back in the NFL, wondering, have we seen the best of him, or does he have more good times ahead? And I really don't know the answer. I'm hopeful he has more good times ahead if he lands with the right team.
I mean, is this guy someone will pay to start next year? I don't think he is.
Let me ask you these kind of questions, though. Let's see, you got $10 million, right, for the franchise tag for Josh Jacobs and Pollard, Saquon Barkley. I mean, those guys are different. I'd take those guys all over James Robinson,
Sure,
right?
Of course.
I mean, what kind of back are we comparing him to say?
I mean, it is a very deep, and that's one of the tweets later on if we ever get to it. I've been holding on to it for 3 or 4 days now, but it's a very deep running back free agent class this year. Let me read off some of these names that we can expect to see on the.
Seems like a good time to share the tweet.
On the market. You got Miles Sanders out there, David Montgomery, Jeff Wilson from the Dolphins, Devin Singletary, Damian Harris, Kareem Hunt, Jamal Williams, Raheem Mostert, Rashad Penny, Jerick McKinnon, Alexander Madison. I mean, last year, Rashad Penny was supposed to do some damage until Kenneth Walker III got the rock, and then they never looked back. But that is a lot of names of guys who can easily slot in as a starter. And because there are so many of them, it's not like you're paying them $10 million to get. Probably half of that.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders is a great pickup.
You just named a lot of guys that are probably going to go ahead of somebody saying, come on over James Robinson, right?
Yeah.
Kasey, give me an idea. You think there's something left, or have we seen the best of James Robinson? Now he becomes journeyman guy that's kind of role player guy that maybe fizzles out guy.
He's Donta Foreman guy. He's a guy that you forget about and then ends up on a team and then all of a sudden pops for 6 weeks, and then you go into free agency and forget about him again. So, there's still football to be played, but he's not – I don't think he's going to be somebody's lead back, but I think he will surprise at times. There will be moments when in daily fantasy you play James Robinson, in regular fantasy you pick him up because a running back gets hurt, and you know what he's capable of, and he'll pop off a couple of good weeks. But for the most part, his starting days are over, I would say.
You know, I feel there's a part of me, too, that feels bad about that because he didn't make a ton of money in the NFL so far. But he was doing things that should have earned him more money. And I mean, it did get more money. He earned more money because I think they balanced it out with the bonus stuff, and then he probably did some things on the side. But I think he was probably this year away from getting probably good money. that next contract.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks you make it to the NFL, you make like this incredible amount of money. Remember, this is an undrafted free agent, guys. Like, he was not given a lot of money to start his NFL career. He overperformed. He made decent money, but he didn't make life-changing money in the league. And he was right there. And some injury, obviously, is a big part of it. Situation and circumstance, a big part of it. And he does have this one thing that hurts him in this league that everybody wants. He doesn't pop with speed. And even big guys that can run over you have speed now. And I think he might be kind of a casualty of the game in that sense, where
it's passed him by maybe a little bit.
Urban didn't love him because he didn't have the speed. Even I get the sense Peterson, not that he didn't love him, just was like, we're not going to be as dynamic as we need to be. Did the Jets feel the same way? And then there's some injuries, like I said, too, that kind of hinder him, even in New York and in Jacksonville. All right, what you got next on the tweet list?
This next one comes from PFF Fantasy Football. Little debate for the fellas. Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk are a top blank wide receiver duo. Where do you rank them as far as wide receiver duos go? And let me help you out a little bit. Let me grease the works. Let me grease the skids a little bit. And I'll give you some names here, some pretty big wide receiver duos. And you tell me if you think Ridley and Kirk at the top of their game are better than what you can expect from these guys next year.
Cool. Just wrote a bunch of these down, so I'm glad we had this conversation that you did it. Awesome.
You can do it too, man.
No, that's good.
Let's go Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
That's where you start, huh? Odd.
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, do you think Kirk and Ridley at their tops are better than those two? I think it's close. If not, advantage Jaguars.
Ooh, that is a good one. Boy, you started right off the rip.
I mean, we can go to other teams and come back to them if you want.
It doesn't get a lot easier.
I mean, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, I think they're better.
Can we have a little brief huddle here on how are we viewing Ridley?
I'm viewing him at his peak numbers
peak
before
or
he came out of the game.
80% of peak? Or?
I'm not viewing him as rusty. I'm saying him at his peak. Him coming in 80 to 100 receptions, 1,000 to 1,400 yards.
Yeah, those are huge discrepancies. I'm giving him 1,000 and 1,400 is way different.
Wide receiver one is what I'm saying, Kasey.
I'm giving him 1,000 yards and like 8 touchdowns.
Okay, and I can buy into that. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are good, but you know what? They're inconsistent for my money, guys, and maybe some of that's because of injuries. I'll take my chances with Ridley and Kirk in that instance.
Me too.
All right, well, you guys outrule me, so we'll take them off the list.
Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. You had Samuel fall off a little bit. Ayuk actually stepped up a little bit last year, but
I'm going to go Samuel and Ayuk because of the dynamic nature of them. They do things that, I mean, Samuel alone does things that only like he can do.
I'm with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we saw a little bit of dynamism.
Holy cow.
From Christian Kirk last year. But okay, how about old DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown?
These are bad ones. No.
Why is that bad?
There's so many other good ones.
Yeah,
I'm going through
take
teams.
Our guys. I'll take our guys.
100%.
All right. How about DK and Tyler Lockett? That's one that will closely be tied to Christian Kirk for a long time because of those contracts. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are a good duo now.
That's a
efficient
good duo.
touchdowns. They don't get the yards, but they get the touchdowns.
But here's the thing, man, because I can't. I'm going to speak outside both sides of my mouth here if I don't pick like Kirk. And Kirk had a better year than Metcalf.
Yes,
it's true.
And
Ridley will be better than Lockett.
And I think Ridley is better than Lockett in our situation here.
Yes.
So I'm going with the Jags guys, even though on paper that's a tough one to be like, you're doing what? Like, people would look at me like I have 10 heads.
Here's another one I think they're better than that.
Wait,
on
who
paper.
are you voting for?
He's voting for our guys.
You.
Oh, I'm taking our guys, Ridley and Christian Kirk. Here's one on paper that's tough to say they're better than, but I think they are. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Our guys or the Tampa guys?
Tampa.
Really?
Yes.
Mike Evans? Like, he's been good his whole career, but he's a target beast. He did not have a great season last year.
I'm taking their guys.
Godwin with a slow start, too. Okay.
Mike Evans is a monster.
Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis.
No.
I'm out on Gabe Davis. I was all in at the beginning of last year.
I just think, Diggs or Ridley. Now, this is the comparison.
I think Diggs is better than Ridley.
Diggs. But the
I'm
second
telling you,
one
that's
is
the
problem.
comparison. And then Kirk, is he better than? He's much better than Gabriel Davis. Davis was disappointing this year.
Yes. Jefferson and Thielen before they let him go out the door.
No, Jefferson or anybody.
Yeah, Jefferson by himself or Ridley Kirk, because he might have more numbers than them combined.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one because I don't think Thielen is no longer the duo. It's really the Justin Jefferson show.
Yeah. This one I give to the other guys. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Yep.
I'll give that to the Eagles.
No, they're good. They're better.
They might be the best duo, if not for the Miami duo. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I like Jamar Chase.
Cincinnati.
That's a good one. And then Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, those guys.
Like, for my money, that is the top 10 wide receiver duos in the league, and I think Ridley and Kirk kind
So
of
we
belong
have them
in there.
at top 6.
Yeah.
This is like one of your greatest topics ever.
But
I just want to let you know.
Let me throw a detour here. Throw Evan Ingram in, and now we're talking trios. Is there anybody out there who tops him?
Cincinnati still.
Because of Boyd?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did Boyd do last year?
I'm taking him.
I'm trying to think of who's got like the tight end that matches. Obviously,
I mean, if if Minnesota had another receiver, Hawkinson.
Yeah, Hawkinson.
But still it doesn't come close. I'm
Still
taking
taking
Ingram.
the Eagles with Goddard.
Okay. That might be the one.
Still taking
because
the
you're not taking the Chiefs.
Still taking the 49ers with Kittle.
49ers, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Kittle is tough. Okay. So third.
This is going to be a fun.
So you're in top 4 there.
We should do this we should have a scoreboard every week in the NFL season on this.
For the ranking?
No, we should. Because here's the thing. Here's the idea of it. I love the question you're asking. I haven't really thought about it in this context. And the fact that you're asking the question, the fact that I'm thinking about it, the fact that the Jags might have better than others in some of these scenarios. Oof. I mean, does that hit you?
Yes.
It
wow. should.
And again, I know there's an if factor here with Calvin Ridley, right? Can he get back? But I'm assuming he is what the Jags hope he is.
Yeah, that's
and
the
even
expectation.
Like I said, 85% of that even would be fine. You can have these conversations. Like, there's a chance.
I got
There
one
is a
more piece
chance.
for you.
With Doug Peterson calling the plays, though, and with Trevor throwing it,
That-
there's a chance they outperform them all.
That's the piece, man. You're sitting here talking about Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They got Kyle Trask throwing them the rock. They got Todd Bowles calling the plays. Come on. Can't count them.
That's why I think we should we should keep this one in our back pocket and follow along on it, because there is a chance that however you want to do it, the trio, the duo, the four, the quartet. I was having trouble finding out what 4 was. That it's better than everybody else's.
Can we go back to Kasey's horrible take for a second? Why are you in love with Tyler Boyd?
I would take those
You want
3
him a
football.
fantasy game,
No,
probably.
I would
I
take
mean, even
those
in
3
fantasy,
football
he's not
players.
great. He's never had more than 7 touchdowns in a season. He's 5-touchdown guy. That's fine.
Never had him in fantasy.
That's 700 yards, 700, 800 yards a season.
Literally what Evan Ingram did.
Evan Ingram's the third option.
So is he. You brought in the third option, and I'm telling you, I would take the 2,000-yard receivers and the 700-yard receiver over what the Jags have. With Joe Burrow throwing him a ball and Zach Taylor calling the plays. Everything included, I would take that.
But it would be, you're looking for 2 wide receivers and a tight end.
Well, at first, you said 3.
Okay.
The triple.
You're right.
I think what's interesting here, too, the element of that is there are not a lot with 3 receivers, right? Or 3 threats.
3 threats.
In the receiving game. Like,
Right.
you can – some people do have the tight end, but they might have to have 2 receivers. Some people might actually have a dynamic pass-catching running back.
Yeah, for the
that they might
Chargers,
not
I would
have
say
the other
Eckler
guys,
is that
right?
guy rather than, Gerald Everett.
Exactly. So, but to have 3, and by the way, the Jags have 3 with a guy like Zay Jones who just had a career year, and they have the running back. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And you have an
It's a
elite
lot.
quarterback throwing him the football and a great coach calling the plays. I
Man, it's
mean,
fun.
there is
It's fun.
reason to be excited this year, for sure.
Listen, I don't know how long you've been on the show. This is the best topic yet. You've had some good ones. It's your best one.
Case has an opinion. Hold on.
No, it's fine.
Oh, all right.
I mean, it wasn't
thought
his
you were gonna
topic.
spout off about something.
It was
did Case was
no, it was a
topic?
tweet. I mean, it's somebody else's content.
Yeah, no,
It's
but the way
fine.
we've turned it into, like, we
it's fine.
just take it, turn it into organically.
No, it's
here.
fine.
Like, that was
It's
good.
no big deal. It's no big deal.
Should we get to South Beach, Gary?
Probably
We'll get
should.
some more tweets here in a little bit. But South Beach Gary jumping in.
It's two-a-day, Gary.
Two-a-day.
Hey, guys, first of all, Aaron, don't you ever sing on that show again.
Reunited, and it feels so good. You know, I've
You
done
just
songs
lost
on this show.
5,000 listeners, Brent.
Oh, we got millions
Automatic.
more, South Beach. We got millions more.
Hey, just love it. The 2 extensions. I'm on cloud nine.
Happy two-a-day.
My Canes are going to beat the stinking Dukies tonight. Knock the rear end out of the tournament. Hey, guys, you know, it looks like the Dolphins are going to have like $40 million to play with. Where do the Jags stand right now, Brent, cap-wise? What is their situation? Can you give me a ballpark?
It's like $7 or $8 million.
I think that's the last number we heard was 8, yeah.
Yes, between $6 and $8 million, depending on who you believe.
That's not enough, Brent. I mean, come on. You guys know if you're not moving ahead, you're losing ground in the NFL because the teams are going to spend in free agency, and I don't think the Jags fans are going to be happy, guys, if they don't keep bringing in top-flight, big-name players because, as I said, if you're not moving forward, you're losing ground in today's NFL.
And that's plenty of money for me to do Jaguars All Access. That's the only other thing they got to sneak in under the cap. Thanks, South Beach Gary. I disagree. I don't think the Jags have to do much. They're not. They're not going to do much. I'll continue to say this. If you think the Jags have to do a lot, where are you playing the person that you're paying?
Yeah, there's no open position for you.
Well, there is. There's one corner spot, and we'll get to that topic. Darius Slay, I guess, is on the block. Should they be interested in something like that? And to South Beach Gary's point, they don't probably have the money right now to do it unless they were to trade and then rework a deal, which is always possible, too. What do we always say? They always have the money. You always can find the money. You can figure out the money. Do they want to make a play like that? But outside of that, why would you bring in a big free agent of any kind to be a backup or a rotational guy?
Jags right now third in the league in contract restructures this offseason. So I would assume at some point they're going to be running out of runway here.
They could still do a couple of them, I think, but if they want to find the dollars, and it doesn't look like they're actively seeking that. We'll figure out if that is the case. We are live at the Players' Championship, TPC Sawgrass, where play has been suspended for round number 2. We'll give you an update on the leaderboard, what's been happening here on day 2. We continue with some football talk, including Darius Slay. Would you be interested in him coming to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Of course you would, but at what cost? Brent Friends, live from the Players, sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers and heavy thunderstorms this evening, clearing skies and turning cooler later tonight, dropping to near 50 degrees by morning. Sunny, breezy, and much cooler, but nice for your Saturday with afternoon highs in the mid-70s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Now get 0% interest for 5 years with nothing down.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Stogie Fest, the Southeast premier cigar event, is back at Aromas March 24th through the 26th. It all kicks off Friday, March 24th at 6 p.m. with events throughout the evening. Saturday, enjoy the Stogie Feast, an exotic meat lover's dinner, followed by beer, scotch, wine, and of course, cigar samples. Stogie Fest Sunday starts at 11 a.m. and features cigar sampling, great food, a designer car show, and more. This event will sell out, so go to aromas.com to get your tickets today. That's aromas.com.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial ** Invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Skip the spring cleaning and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. One of our clients, Charles, said, "Selling my home with Mark Spain Real Estate was completely hassle-free, even in today's complex market. I highly recommend them. Don't worry about the hassle of constant cleaning and making costly repairs. Call 855-299-SOLD or go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing."
Certain restrictions apply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients. Today, Morgan & Morgan has more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Everyone loves TV Dad.
On the next TV Dad, presented by Progressive, TV Dad explains becoming a man.
Son, it's time we had the talk.
Okay, TV Dad.
You know, drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Oh, is that why my voice is changing?
That's a question for your health teacher.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Every piece of land has a story. The Upshaw's right there is with a John Deere 1 Series tractor they call Penny. And this is Shaw.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
When he's not cutting grass, he's cutting hair.
So every person is different, from hair tight to head shape. And I feel like it's the same way in a yard.
Front loader to backhoe, the Upshaws have the tools to DIY all day long. Run with us on a 1 Series tractor and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
Hey, it's Brent Morton from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent AS Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
We got ourselves a big trade in the NFL. The Chicago Bears have dealt the first pick to the Carolina Panthers.
For lots of goodies.
Woo! Woo!
Lots of goodies.
Woo! DJ Moore!
That's
He's
a deal,
free.
man.
He's free!
Hey, you love DJ. Were you one of those that wanted DJ Moore, like, kind of like to trade at the deadline or
Big
something
time.
like that?
Yeah, I was one of those.
Just nonsense.
Woo! Him and Jacoby Myers? Holy crap, this is going to be dangerous in Chicago.
That's a big trade.
So who will the Panthers take now at number 1 at quarterback is the question.
Well, I heard Kasey Kurtz predicting in the break, Richardson or bust.
I don't think it was – that's not what I said.
Oh.
What I said was they were all loving on Anthony Richardson when they still had pick 9.
Yeah, they were hot to trot on Richardson. But I don't think that's what this trade is.
I'm just saying.
I think this is Bryce Young and nobody else.
Do you make all those trades for Richardson when you could have maybe had Richardson
sat
anyway,
back.
or you could
Or
move
traded
to
lower.
5 or something like that?
No, nonsense.
Yeah, they're not moving for that, right? I mean, I don't think so. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. We are live at the Players' Championship, which is a rainy Players' Championship. Not like last year. This should be the end of it tonight, but play has been suspended because of lightning and the rain, and we will get round 2 completed tomorrow, then the cut, then round 3 on Saturday, and hopefully scheduled to plan to finish on Sunday. As expected, I think we should see that too, because weather doesn't look like it's a problem after this afternoon. Meanwhile, the leader, there are 2 of them, and Christian Bezudenhout is one. Adam Svensson is another. 8 under, 8 under. That stat boy, he picked Svensson as his sleeper.
Oh,
he's looking good.
Looking good.
Did he pick them, or is this like Aaron picked them and then
no,
put
he
it in a
picked
text
them,
message that, hey, Kasey actually picked these people?
I actually forget who he picked, like for his real, like his winner, and then we do a sleeper too, and that's who he said sleeper.
He's going to win some merch.
Yeah, he might. Ben Griffin, 6 under. Minwood Woolley, 6 under. Colin Morikawa, 6 under. So those are your top 5 here at the Players' Championship. And again, a lot of golf still to be played, even in round number 2. But the story of right now is the Chicago Bears trading the first overall pick. I mean, we're still 6 weeks and change out from the draft.
How crazy is that, by the way? It feels so far away when you say it like that. I've been reading so much draft over the last couple of weeks. It feels like it's next week.
Well, and here's what that tells me. They had a lot of noise for that pick. Like, there were a lot of people in on that pick. Mm-hmm. And Carolina got wind of that, and they knew that, and they were like, we ain't waiting.
They really blew them. Well, listen to this, man. For the first overall pick, they're getting pick number 9, pick number 61, a first-rounder in 24, which may be high. You don't know. The Bears may not recover so quickly. A second round in 25, and a new wide receiver 1 in DJ Moore.
Hey, that's a pretty good thing now. You got a couple years ago, you get Justin Fields, you get your quarterback. You got to go through the mud again, and they end up with the number 1 overall pick. And kind of like the Jacksonville Jaguars did. The only difference here is the Chicago Bears land in the number 1 hole when there are a lot of quarterbacks and coveted ones in the draft for something like this to happen. And so that is a fantastic way to change your franchise and put your franchise in a good position. Now, they still got to make a lot of right moves.
Yes. And here's another thing that's interesting to me, because you could almost guarantee they were also getting calls from the Colts, right? Like, that's a foregone conclusion.
Well, that's the thing. Shout out Lovie Smith right now. They must hate him more than ever in Houston, because you're not getting that pick back now. You could have traded for it. Now you can't.
Yeah.
You're stuck with whoever they don't want.
I think once C.J. Stroud had a good combine, the Texans settled on that for the pick.
I agree with you there, Aaron. Like, I don't think they're looking at this in Houston as, oh, my goodness. I think in Indianapolis they might be. And, by the way, this move helps out the Jags in the AFC South.
Yeah.
In some roundabout way, most likely, we think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't totally help out, because maybe Indianapolis is getting set to pick Anthony Richardson.
Or Will Levis.
Or Will Levis, who would be there. But, maybe Tennessee now has no chance at getting a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, and here's the other thing. Maybe those guys would pick a quarterback and the guy not be good. So what if now, like, Houston takes Anthony Richardson and Indianapolis takes C.J. Stroud and Stroud doesn't work out? Well, that could be actually a good thing for the Jags, too. So it just depends. Like, if they don't, now they're probably not getting their number 1 selection, because most people believe it was Bryce Young. Was everybody willing to go Bryce Young? I'm not so convinced of that. But I do think for Houston, I think they end up in an okay spot, because I think there's Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud at the top of the board, and then I think the other guys, and we know this, are huge gambles. It doesn't mean people wouldn't take the gamble, but they are big gambles. And so there's definitely less clarity around 3 and 4 from a quarterback standpoint for most teams. So that's why I think Houston is probably okay in this situation, getting Stroud, if that's where they go, or maybe they're going to be infatuated and take a big gamble with Anthony Richardson or Will Levis.
What about a team like the Raiders now trying to trade up into the 3 hole to grab a quarterback before the Colts pick at 4?
And 4 of the first 5.
And then, fine, Kasey, you get your dream come true, but the Colts are sitting there odd man out in that scenario. 3 quarterbacks off the board to start, and now they're getting 4th place in that race.
That would be wild.
They had no intention of that. I guess my question is, even though they swore off the veteran quarterback, maybe this is where they jump back in on the Aaron Rodgers conversation.
Or Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody like that.
I mean, the Texans
anybody but the Jets, please.
The Texans are actually about to get a big fine on the Garoppolo situation. You guys see that news?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are teams hot to trot. I guess the Raiders are hot on Garoppolo, and the Texans have already admitted to possibly tampering with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Why? Unbelievable. Here's what's interesting about this to me is they got a massive return, right? You got 2 firsts and you got a really good player and some seconds. Okay. I'm not saying there wasn't a better deal out there, but I'm surprised it happened this quick. Like you missed.
I think that's why. I think to Brent's point, you had teams like the Colts calling and maybe some others. And then I think the Panthers, especially with the owner, David Tepper, who's an aggressive, eccentric billionaire, I think they saw this and they were like, you know what, just throw everything at him. So let's just do it.
Well, I think you could have had. Well, to Kasey's point, I don't think you're absolutely wrong that they could have got even more at some point, but you have to measure it along the way.
You guys think they could have gotten more?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think they probably could have got even more. I mean, they get the firsts.
We got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and DJ Moore.
2 seconds and DJ Moore. Yeah. So
but
it's good.
You have the Colts, who Irsay says we're going all in, and you know they've made some not so great decisions. If you wait until Aaron Rodgers is absolutely gone, they've got no other option. They give you another pick.
Yeah,
or a football player, if that's
I don't
what
know
you
how
want.
I don't know how much of a Moore haul. I mean, it's a good haul, it looks like, for Chicago. But I don't disagree with you either. I think if you played this out longer, you might have got more. But I think that part doesn't matter to me. What's fascinating is it looks like there are plenty of teams involved. Like Chicago was fielding calls probably from, obviously, Carolina. I bet Houston was still in on, okay, what does it take
just kicking
in
the
our
tires.
position?
Yeah, sure.
I bet Indianapolis was definitely interested. I don't think Tennessee was out of the equation here either. And there's probably no team like Atlanta or somebody that was knocking on the door, at least feeling it out. So it's really fascinating how much jockeying was going around for what looks like 2 premier quarterbacks, at least safer picks, and then one other guy that's like really boom or bust, as we've been talking about for a while, and then Will Levis wherever he fits in there. And there are needy teams, and some of them picking in this top 10 or 11 that really want to go get quarterback, and this upsets it all now with Carolina. Good for them, and they go early. Now number 1's off the board. Houston ain't moving. We know that. Who's at 3?
Arizona.
Arizona's not going quarterback, but now this becomes a shop pick.
Yeah, but they could turn that into
move.
Yeah.
They're going to move off that pick
into assets.
Like, because to your whoever just said it, one of you guys said it, maybe both of you said it. Now Indianapolis might have to move to 3.
They really do. That was me. I'm
because
smart.
What if somebody else jumps up?
I don't know.
What if the Titans want to move up?
Well, there are like you said, Atlanta. There are multiple teams who have the need. I mean, Tennessee. The other part to this that is really interesting to me is you just paid, essentially, if the pick is Bryce Young, you just paid 2 firsts and 2 seconds for Bryce Young. You don't want to pay 2 firsts for Lamar Jackson?
I guess that's another
nonsense.
Another way to go.
Nonsense.
Yeah. Wild. What a move.
Bryce Young's cheaper.
Yeah. So what? Lamar's worth it.
I'm just saying.
And the Panthers, out of all the teams, you know they would pay. Come on.
I will say that that is kind of an interesting part of all this. Does it bring the idea of Lamar Jackson into the AFC South with Indy?
I mean, that's a possibility.
With a team like Tennessee. Like, are they willing to do it? Because Indy, I believe, still has money. Like, I think they've got decent money, too.
But they've also got one of these owners who's, like, in lockstep with the owner group. I don't see him bucking the owner, we're not colluding trend of not talking to Lamar Jackson.
I heard Peter King this morning coming in on ESPN 690 with the guys in the morning, and he kind of indicated, now I don't know if who knows, the owners might be saying this, but he was saying that they're more concerned about his injury stuff over these last couple of
I don't buy that
games.
at all.
He's finished 1 game in his last 12 games that they've played. Or 13 or 14, something like that. It's a crazy number. I was like, wow, that kind of puts it in perspective. And so are they willing, not that they're not willing to give more guaranteed money, but are they willing to give guaranteed money to a guy that you might not have?
There are guys every year who get put on new teams because the coaches are like, oh, they just need a change of scenery. You're telling me Steve gets the worst report card of any person in the history of the NFL, and it's Lamar's fault. I read a great analysis, by the way, a real boring article, but a great analysis on the hits Lamar Jackson takes and the kind of hits he takes. What they did was they broke it down not just on how many hits he takes, but was he hit standing in the pocket or was he hit on the run? Because what they said they found was a study that said mobile quarterbacks are actually at less of an injury risk when they get hit than the quarterback standing in the pocket getting creamed on the blind side or when they don't see it coming. And so for these immobile quarterbacks, those are the guys getting the concussions. Those are the guys getting the Tommy Johns that you don't often see in football, or the shoulder injuries when their arms get pulled back as they're trying to pull the trigger on a throw, versus these other guys like Lamar, some of these runners who maybe possibly will tweak a knee here or there, get a hyperflex or something like that, but often aren't getting these major crazy injuries because they're running quarterbacks.
I would probably add to that, and I have no idea because, I mean, this is something you saw that they obviously studied, but I would say the more catastrophic injuries or severe come from in the pocket, but it doesn't mean you don't get beat up. Like the Josh Allen running down the field and getting whacked, you know, comes up with bumps and bruises.
Well, you end the game, I think Lamar's average was 12 hits per game.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
See, he's a tricky one, too, because he's so elusive that hitting a guy like that hard and square doesn't seem to happen very often.
No.
But I understand what they're saying about in the pocket, because that's where the awkward stuff happens. By the way, that's where the Trevor hit happened in Detroit.
Yeah, that knee,
in the pocket. Let's take a break. We'll put a bow on the show. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on deck. They've got plenty to talk about. They already did, but now they really do with this big Chicago Bears trade.
Now they really do.
I'm talking about the same show? I don't know about that.
I just said you already did, and now you really do.
Yeah, they really didn't, though.
Shut up.
Oh,
we
so
had
now
planned.
they have a show topic for the whole hour. There we go.
No, I feel like
It's
you're
gonna be
really
exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
We're going to head into the weekend with a really big show topic and a really good show with Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton.
Yeah, we
coming
are.
up
What was that,
right
Kasey?
after we put a bow. We'll be back live from a suspended Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Yellow Card is coming to Daly's Place on July 21st and 22nd. At ESPN 690 has tickets to the show. Log on to ESPN 690 and register to win tickets to see Yellow Card celebrating 20 years of Ocean Avenue.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better," unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Anyone with a pet knows that they are truly a member of the family. I know my family and I would go above and beyond for our black pug Arlo, which is what the best veterinary practices understand. People need to be able to trust whose hands they are putting their pets into. So when they're looking for a new veterinary practice, one of the first things they do is look at the practice's online reviews. At Cox Media Group, we help ensure that your online reputation and reviews are strong. So let's embark on improving your digital reputation. Head to cmg.com to find out more so we can see how Cox Media Group can help you boost your website's traffic.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Ready for some baseball? It's almost time for your Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Opening day is April 5th, and 1-to-1 Financial Credit Union has the deal. 1 week only, March 13th to the 18th. Stop by any 1-to-1 Financial branch and pick up BOGO Jumbo Shrimp ticket packages. Buy one, get one.
Yeah.
That's 20 game vouchers for just $1.95. No blackout dates, only the reserve seats.
Yeah.
Just hit up your hometown credit union 1-to-1. March 13th to the 18th. Get your BOGO and support the home team. Thirsty Thursday has never been better. Federally insured by NCUA.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Koala insulation.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
If you're a new parent, your baby means the world to you. But sadly, an average of 17 Northeast Florida families lose their babies to sleep-related deaths each year. Please make sure your baby always sleeps alone and on their back in a separate and safe sleep environment, like a crib, pack and play, or bassinet. Also, keep their sleep space free of covers, pillows, toys, and bumper pads. Learn more at wolfsandchildrens.com/safe sleep. That's wolfsandchildrens.com/safe sleep.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in an accident and would like to know the value of your case, go to forthepeople.com to see cases just like yours. You see, all lawyers are not the same. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Welcome back to TPC Sawgrass, the Players' Championship, and it has been suspended with a couple of guys in the lead. Christian Bezudenhout, Adam Svensson, just who everybody thought would win the Players' Championship, or at least be leading on a Friday. And those guys have a lead over three others who are 6 under par. It includes one big name, Colin Morikawa, who has 1 over through 11 in his second round. They'll get back out on the course tomorrow, finish that round, make a cut, and then play the third round on Saturday, and hopefully the weather will be good after this, but it's pouring right now.
Sounds like it.
It's a good thing they didn't come back or try to play through it. They wouldn't have played through it here on a Friday evening. Brent Friends, live from the Players' Championship all week, has been sponsored by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. We appreciate you following us along here from TPC Sawgrass. Good to see so many folks out here. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on deck. Aaron Schachter, what did we learn today before we learn that you will be off next week? Off to, the
Shocker.
magical place.
Yeah, we're going to the Magic Kingdom.
Shocker, dude's not coming to work.
With the kids.
The usual.
The huge. That's me.
Yep.
But if you want to check in while I'm at Disney, I'll happily ignore the phone call.
Awesome. What did you learn today, Aaron?
You want to know what I learned today, Case? I learned that my top 3 quarterback depth chart for my fantasy football team with the Jets would be Baker Mayfield as QB1, Teddy Two Gloves at QB2, and Tyrod Taylor, punctured lung and all, at QB3. I learned Kasey thinks Jacoby Myers and DJ Moore are some of the best wide receivers in the league.
It's true.
And I learned Bachman doesn't put product in his hair. Might love this man more today than I did yesterday.
It's funny. I also learned something about John Bachman, and that is that Aaron would leave his wife for John Bachman in any capacity, and he would
100%.
also leave his wife for Brent Martineau, but only in the TPC lighting. Other times, not so much. But in the lighting, you had the first couple of segments, you were called looking good.
This segment, too, he looks great. And by the way, I leave my wife for Martineau like literally every day from 3 to 6.
That's true.
That's fair. I also learned that our listeners didn't hear any March Madness updates today. We'll try to get that up for you on Monday. And I also learned that me and Jacoby Myers are going to make a ton of money this season after he has 80 catches, 1,012 yards for the Chicago Bears.
Anywhere between 1,000 and 1,400 yards.
Yeah, I have learned that I have got water seeping down the back of me and into my pants. So that's what's happening right now.
All right.
That sounds like me when I'm trying to play basketball.
Yes. This is not sweat, people. And I don't have to go to the bathroom. But
Aaron, I thought I was going to. Never mind, actually.
Hey, speaking of March Madness, NCAA tournament bracket is released on Sunday on CBS 47. Hopefully, we'll have a bracket contest for you next week. We'll completely wrap up all the Players'
I do
Championship
think we
coming
have
up on Monday.
Selection Sunday show on the radio. Do we
On
not?
ESPN 690.
I believe
Hopefully
so.
we do.
I believe so.
So we'll have all that covered for you next week and get you set for the tournament. And you can hear first and second round games on ESPN 690. Well, you can hear the entire tournament.
That's
but
right.
We are going to let you listen to all the games on Thursday and Friday here on ESPN 690 instead of us. But we will be with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But not Aaron,
next
though.
week.
Just to
Not
confirm, he's going to Disneyland.
Yes.
Only for the beginning
Disney
of the
World.
week. The end of
Disneyland
the
is
week.
California.
The end of the week, I'm literally just not coming to work because I don't want to.
Neither are we.
Got nothing to do with Disney.
Yeah. Have fun with your Mickey ears, buddy.
11:15 tonight, Action Sports Shacks at the Players on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Shacks primetime, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47 all weekend long. We'll have the Players covered for you. Help you have a good weekend, everybody. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton up next.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut Softener drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. This month, you can trade in any brand water softener and receive $750 towards a new Connecticut Premier Series softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Stogie Fest, the Southeast's premier cigar event, is back at Aromas March 24th through the 26th. It all kicks off Friday, March 24th at 6 p.m. with events throughout the evening. Saturday, enjoy the Stogie Feast, an exotic meat lover's dinner, followed by beer, scotch, wine, and of course, cigar samples. Stogie Fest Sunday starts at 11 a.m. and features cigar sampling, great food, a designer car show, and more. This event will sell out, so go to aromas.com to get your tickets today. That's aromas.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Bears trade the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft to the Carolina Panthers. In return, Chicago gets the 9th overall pick, 2 second-round picks, a first pick next year, and wideout DJ Moore. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy had surgery today on a torn ligament in his right elbow. He got hurt in the first quarter of the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. He should be able to start throwing in about 3 months. So what will the Jets do if they don't get Aaron Rodgers? Peter King from Football Morning in America believes Jimmy Garoppolo could be their next target.
Garoppolo will get a lot of attention early on, but and I'm sure the Jets are going to want to know the answer from Aaron Rodgers no later than Sunday night.
Peter King on Key J and Max. Georgia Tech fires basketball coach Josh Pastner today after 7 years with the Yellow Jackets.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Ask yourself, how often do you go to the second page for the answer to something you are looking for when searching on Google? I asked 10 people, and 1 out of 10 said rarely, while the other 9 said never. Websites that are stuck on page 2 or farther never get the attention or web traffic they deserve. Cox Media Group can fix that ranking by making sure that your business is the answer to the questions most people are asking. It's Cox Media Group's mission to help make sure that your business is seen as the trusted expert in your field. Head to cmg.com to find out more, and we'll reach out to you with the next steps.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Everyone loves TV Dad.
On the next TV Dad, presented by Progressive, TV Dad explains becoming a man.
Son, it's time we had the talk.
Okay, TV Dad.
You know, drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Oh, is that why my voice is changing?
That's a question for your health teacher.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Are you ready for a great deal? Do you have your heart set on a new Toyota? Then go to the Ready, Set, Go sales event happening now at Arlington Toyota. Of course, at Arlington, you get Ready, Set, Go deals and more, like 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. But you better shop now before Ready, Set, Go is gone. Don't wait. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, Hubbard House is here for you. Access life-saving, life-changing resources by calling 904-354-3114.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine is a fully accredited, tuition-free state public school that gives children an edge for a lifetime of success. FSDB is nationally recognized for its educational services designed for students' unique communication and accessibility needs. Eligible pre-K and kindergarten through 12th grade students benefit from small class sizes, advanced technology, and various recreation, extracurricular, and performing arts activities. Transportation and boarding services are free to any eligible deaf or blind student, kindergarten through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. My name is Trent Ferguson, and I'm a proud graduate of this wonderful school. This place changes lives. To learn more information or to apply for enrollment, call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
And just when I thought we had nothing to talk about, something happens. Something rather large happens in the National Football League. And Brian Middleton is questioning potentially rejoining the fan base of the Carolina Panthers.
See, that's why I can't do any dirt with you, Kasey.
Oh.
Clearly off the record stuff.
I don't know.
Clearly off the record stuff.
You said it like four times.
We're not 30 seconds into the show, and you tell 4,000 people that are listening.
4,000? You think 4,000 people are listening?
Across the world.
Not even close, says Aaron
Across the
Schechter.
universe.
Awesome. Great.
Technology being used by aliens that we don't know yet.
Now, that's possible.
Anyway.
That is possible.
30 seconds in, Kasey Kurtz telling. You're the kind of child that told, didn't you? You don't come across like the kind of kid that told in kindergarten, but watching you now over the past 2.5 years, you tattled a whole lot, didn't you?
Nah, I didn't snitch. Just didn't do it. I kept everything locked up.
I'll follow up with Chip. We'll see if that's really true.
You follow up with Chip. Overtime with
about
Kurtz.
2005. I feel like 05 was a snitching year for you.
And Middleton, ESPN 690. The Chicago Bears have traded the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. And the team that will now make the pick will be the Carolina Panthers. However, they gave up a little bit to make the pick. The Chicago Bears will get, first off, a football player, and that is wide receiver DJ Moore. Arguably top 2 player on the Panthers.
Yeah, arguably.
He is
put that word in there, but yeah, he's good.
Top flight receiver. The Bears had none of those type players. They will now get DJ Moore to be their number 1 receiver. DJ Moore is coming off a year where he had 888 yards and 7 touchdowns. The year before, he had 1,100 yards and 4 touchdowns in a non-quarterback having team for the last couple of seasons. This is a guy that has never had less than 788 receiving yards in a season. 3 years in the 1,100 window, 21 touchdowns in 80 games, and a total of 5,201 receiving yards in his career. So they will get that as their number 1 receiver. They will also get the 9th pick in the draft, the 61st pick in the draft, a first-round pick in 2024, and a second-round pick in 2025. An absolute haul for the number 1 overall pick in the draft. And now the Carolina Panthers will have their choice. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis.
What?
Or Anthony Richardson.
Huh?
Those are the options that they have on the table. Or they could shock the world and pick Jalen Carter. I'm just saying. But they will pick a quarterback, and it will be one of the 4 I just said. You seem convinced you know who the pick's going to be, Brian Middleton, so why don't you just tell me?
No, I don't. But what I will say is this. Chicago also gets that de facto first-round pick because they're the first pick in the second round. Do we know the order of that?
Should be.
And who gave up their pick for doing something wrong this year? Miami?
Miami.
So
Yes.
they basically got before I unpack Carolina. Actually, you know what?
They don't have that pick. They traded it for Chase Claypool.
Okay, so Pittsburgh has that.
Pittsburgh has 32.
Okay. Oh, good on you, Mike Tomlin.
Pittsburgh has 17 and 32.
Okay, way to go. Well, that kind of bumps that point. But let me just answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's C.J. Stroud.
You think it's C.J. Stroud?
I think over the next 6 weeks, people are going to pick at Bryce Young to the point where maybe me and you are going to be like, why wouldn't you pick Bryce Young? But when you start looking at some of the measurables, and not just his height, but a smaller guy, I guess, depending on what the pro day looks like, I think that people are going to pick into the point where C.J. Stroud, they're going to look and say, hey, he's just as good as Bryce Young. At least in college, we can point at these things and the things that he wasn't as good at compared to Young. I'm sure we can fix that. But you can't teach 6'3.5" or a quarter, whatever he was. I guess you can teach, 220-something pounds. But I think that it will be C.J. Stroud. I reserve the right to change my mind because everything's a whirlwind right now. But no way Will Levis. No way. Okay? LOL that. All right? And I hate to say no way Anthony Richardson. No, I don't. No way Anthony Richardson. No knock on him. Again, I call him combine superhero. He has a lot of gifts. We all know the gifts. And you also know that he is a project. It will be a disservice to Anthony Richardson if he's picked number 1 overall. That's not a knock on the kid. But what we expect from quarterbacks now and the number 1 overall pick just in general, but especially at quarterback, I think that it would serve him better not to be the number 1 overall pick. I told you I think it would serve him better not to be a first-round pick, but I'm not messing with his money. I don't want to mess with anything that he's worked hard to get to this point. I'm talking about his overall development early on in his career. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Kasey, that's the answer to your question on who I think they're going to take.
It's fascinating because you're not the first person I've seen say that since the trade came out. I like C.J. Stroud. Liked him from the beginning. I almost sent off a tweet that involved C.J. Stroud in the middle of the NFL season. You remember that?
Yeah, we got to pull back the archives.
This is a football player that I like, and we'll see what they do there. He had a incredible combine. He did not have the combine that Anthony Richardson had. Obviously, Bryce Young didn't participate in the combine. So it's a fluid situation, but what you said there has kind of triggered me into something. You said it would be a disservice for Anthony Richardson to go number one. It is a disservice for any of these players to go to the Carolina Panthers, and here's why. Your leading receiver on the team, now that you've traded DJ Moore and you traded Christian McCaffrey, is Terrace Marshall, I should say. Your second leading receiver is Laviska Shenault Jr. That is a bad situation. Your running back is Chuba Hubbard. This is a bad situation for anybody, let alone a developed player. Free agency, there are things that can happen, but you just gave up everything to get this pick, and you have nothing around whoever you put in this position. It will not be easy for them to succeed with what is currently constructed in Carolina. So let's start there. Whether you pick Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, or anybody available, they are walking into a bad situation. A not good situation. And we know the situation with the wide receiver free agents, not a lot of them. And you just gave up all the picks you pretty much had to maybe draft a wide receiver in the top part of the draft. So it's going to be tough for whoever to succeed. Good thing you drafted an offensive lineman last year if you're Carolina, because the only thing you're going to be able to do is protect your asset and then try to develop as time goes along. So I don't know who they're going to pick. I'm intrigued by C.J. Stroud, but it's either C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. There's a lot of stuff to this, I think. Let's start with the Chicago part of it. Boy, Chicago's going to get a lot of good football players. They got one in DJ Moore. 9 is a long way to go. And which brings me to another overall point is I'm surprised it happened this early and to this team. They wanted to get it done. It's done. Okay. I think if they waited, they get more. Because you can leverage the offers that you have for the pick. They thought this was a good one, but they go all the way down to 9, which makes you think they're falling out of Will Anderson contention. They're likely falling out of Jalen Carter contention as well. So what do they do when they get down to pick number 9? I don't think they're trading it again, because now you have teams that are going to go up to number 3 because you know you're going quarterback in the first 2, and you're going quarterback at 4. So now the Arizona Cardinals are sitting in a situation where they're going to be able to get a good return for the 3rd overall pick, which they didn't know they were going to get. So there's a whole lot here. But the Bears going down to 9, it's a long way to go from where you could have gone that we thought potentially 2, potentially 4, wherever the Raiders are, I think 7. It's a long way to go. But they do get DJ Moore. They do get the first rounder next year. They get another second rounder, and they do have a second round pick that they didn't trade. So they've got 2 in the second. They've got now the 9th pick, and they have DJ Moore, and they have their quarterback. A reason that doing this early that I am on board for 100% is Justin Fields knows right now in the last half hour who his number 1 receiver is. They can be throwing as soon as possible. They can be working on that chemistry immediately. And I think that's a valuable thing. We've seen it in Jacksonville the last couple of years where Trevor Lawrence has gotten with his receivers in the offseason, and they have gone on trips. They've been throwing at high schools. These two guys can now get on that same page and start to know each other and start to develop that connection. And I think that's extremely valuable. I think Ryan Poles did a service to Justin Fields by getting his number 1 receiver way early. They know it, and they can get to work in the lab. I think that's extremely valuable. But I think 9's a long way to go when you're sitting at number 1. Long way to go. Will they get a good player? Absolutely. 9's a long way to go. I also thought about this. You know who the number 1 most hated person in Houston, Texas is right now?
Deshaun Watson, Bill O'Brien.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
Lovie Smith. Because now the dream's over. It's gone. You thought maybe we could trade up for that pick? When they won the game, it was like, it's fine. Chicago's not taking a quarterback.
Yeah.
No, it's actually not fine. And it's great if you sit in Jacksonville as we do, because they're not getting their pick. They're getting their leftover.
Good for you, Lovey.
I'm happy for Lovey.
One on me, Lovey, whenever I see you in Jacksonville. You hear me?
Deshaun Watson, close second, though. But it is Lovey Smith today. And the Houston Texans will now get, whatever's left over. Going to be a good player, but they don't get their pick of their player. And that's a good thing for Jacksonville. It's also a good thing for Indianapolis, who's sitting at 4. And as currently constructed, they are stuck with the quarterback that doesn't go first, second, or third.
Wow.
They have no choice.
Wow.
So
Aaron just texted us, said that Dan Orlovsky is saying the pick is for Richardson.
Go back and listen to the last little bit of Brent Friends because I said that.
Now listen, I'm going to temper my excitement. And it's not, again, a knock on Anthony Richardson, Kasey, or anybody listening. I hope he does great. He is a video game character. And that's saying something when most people in the NFL, you look at them or you just look at something that they do well, 1 or 2 or 3 things, and just like, oh, okay, I can build that in a video game. He is all of the sliders, all of the attributes to 99. Speed for a quarterback, strength, I'm sure, vertical, things of that nature. I get it, Frank Wright. He was a quarterback. Maybe he feels like he can develop, a guy. He still got Sam Darnold on there, who would presumably be a mentor at this point, even though Sam Darnold's like, 24? 25. Matt Corral, I don't know. I'm sorry. I guess show up. I don't know. But Kasey, you talk about a bad situation in Carolina. I get the reasoning why. The defense has some real strength there. Offensively, I get it. DJ Moore is gone. You start naming, with the run game, and thank goodness they picked up, Icky. I had to be real with you, man. From year to year now, even when you start talking about the offseason, I don't think that necessarily translates into walking into a bad season. What you see, what they have left based off of what they currently have left on the roster and what they did last season. I made that a really difficult statement. Basically, the guys on the roster right now, I can't just necessarily judge them off of what they did last season of how this season is going to go. It's a new coaching staff. It's a new scheme. You're right. Free agency hasn't kicked off yet. And we don't know what the plan is. But nobody can tell me that the GM, that the head coach, that the owner sat there and said, hey, we're going to give up all this stuff right here and pick up a rookie quarterback. And if it's Anthony Richardson, it's going to be him. And then say, hey, we're just going to roll him out with less than what we had last year at the skill positions. So whatever that plan may be, we have to see if that unfolds. But I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad as, currently constructed. And, waiting for a team to wait a little bit later, to the Chicago Bears point that you were saying, leveraging the pick. Yeah, but we've seen that go, wrong as well. Now, someone would probably break your right and probably give up even more than what Carolina did. But sometimes, I think that there's a nicety to the fact that, hey, sometimes you see a good deal, and I'm going to take that good deal. And we're going to make a bunch of good deals. It doesn't have to be the home run deal. And those kind of things compound just like good decisions do over a lifetime. You look at doctors, and most of them who aren't like $800,000 in debt, who are just living well with their wife and, going to Bogota with their 5 kids and whatnot, driving their car with the top off. They made a lot of good decisions over a lifetime that compounded. And I feel like that's what Ryan Poles is doing as far as the Chicago trade with Carolina. I will say this, though, man, for what he did get, and I like Chase Claypool, but Chase Claypool and DJ Moore, now you give Justin Fields a fighting chance, and I don't know what's going on with David Montgomery. He didn't get.
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. Okay, so I don't know what they're going to do there. And my feelings about David Montgomery way back from 2021. So it's not good. It's not good. But you're giving Justin Fields some more weapons. He can move with his feet, and we know he can throw the ball from college. DJ Moore is that guy.
He is.
He don't like his helmet all the time when he makes incredible catches.
He do be chucking it sometimes.
But He is that guy. That is what a Justin Fields needs as a young QB struggling right now with the passing game. I'm kind of excited just to see what that looks like.
Oh, it's a home run for the Bears. And I think getting the guy early and not waiting to have to pay Jacoby Myers, if that's what they do, or trade for DeAndre Hopkins or something like that. You get this.
You're right.
I mean, it's kind of like getting 3 first-rounders because DJ Moore's a good player.
Yeah, we already know.
He's a great player. And Justin Fields needed this guy, and he got him. And 2 first-round picks. And 2 second-round picks. That's a haul for the Bears. It's an A-plus home run for the Bears.
And then who's to say that the Bears are done? What if the Bears said, you know what, we know we can get this right here, and what if we package something to your point about they moved down to 9 that's kind of low? I don't know. What if they deal somebody in
to come back up or go down more?
To come back up. You know, it's improbable, but it's on the table. They got some pieces to play around with as far as draft picks, and I don't know who they would ever consider as far as a player, but they definitely got a couple of draft picks to play around with if they wanted to, if they love somebody in this draft.
It's actually a really good point because I believe, and I know everybody doesn't agree with me, I believe, and I think we'll see this play out, that all of the first 4 of the first 5 picks will be quarterbacks. I don't know what order, but you've already got Carolina jumping in. That's a quarterback. Take 1. You have Houston at 2. That's a quarterback. If Arizona stays, I don't think they're staying, but if they stay, that's a defender. But there's plenty of opportunity and reason to go to the 3rd pick because there's going to be 2 quarterbacks left, and if you like one a whole lot better than the other, you need to go get the guy you like there. So you have quarterback potential. The Colts will pick a quarterback, and then we see what happens at 5. But for your argument, if 4 quarterbacks go, you've got Jalen Carter and Will Anderson, who both couldn't go. And throw in a Tyree Wilson if you want to. So you've got 3 top-tier defensive players and 4 top-tier quarterbacks, which gets you to 7. So in your scenario, yes, it makes plenty of sense. If you get to 5, which is Seattle, who's a pretty good roster, who could build for the future in a way.
Yeah.
Chicago could come right back up. Same deal with the Lions. Vegas is probably going in the other direction because they need a quarterback. But yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility because you're going to have big-time players just sitting there. And it depends on how they fall. But they could still end up with a Jalen Carter. And that's the other wild card in this. We don't know the thought on Jalen Carter. Could you imagine if they can sit at 9 and get Jalen Carter? It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It'd be a 30 for 30 in the making. It'd be a 30 for 30 in the making based off of whatever picks, and they get Jalen Carter at the 9th. At 9?
So
get out of here.
Listen, crazy move. And I don't think it's over. I think Arizona trades the pick at 3. And you bring all these other teams into it that I said it earlier in the week in a way of random teams that you're not thinking about. What's Atlanta doing? What's Tennessee doing? They cut another offensive lineman today.
Waiting for Caleb Williams. Said this season's a wash.
Truly. But, I mean, you have teams that still have a need there.
Yeah.
I think Arizona trades the pick. I think you're getting 4 quarterbacks in the first 5 picks. And then you're sitting at 6 with a Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson on the board. And does this change what not only quarterback teams do? A lot of good players. You got top-tier offensive linemen that are going to go, and then you've got corners at the top of the draft. Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, Joey Porter. Really, really good players are getting to 11, 12, 13.
I mean, really, Kasey, what this does, it changes the entire draft.
It does.
Because just one player out of order in the majority of mock drafts changes everything, right? You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if this is for Anthony Richardson, I got to be real with you. That's going to –
I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be so mad if the Texans still end up with
Bryce Young
or C.J. Stroud, yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to end up with one of them, but if they get their pick of their guy, yeah.
The AFC South will be fun. Kind of.
AFC South will be fun.
Kind of. That's wild. Thanks, Carolina and Chicago, giving us an A block today.
Shout out to the Bears, man. They making moves.
Ryan Poles was the new GM hire, right, from Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
Mm-hmm.
That Kansas City effect, man. This how you got where you going to?
Heck of a job.
But I'm super excited one more time, Kasey, to see Justin Fields with DJ Moore and then Claypool as a second option.
I mean, and who knows what they do.
Okay.
I mean, there's still more to do. Jacoby Myers is going to be out there.
Yeah.
There's plenty of tight ends available. Plenty of tight ends. And you're at 9. If things don't get as weird as we think, and Jalen Carter's gone, Will Anderson's gone, do they look at a Quentin Johnston?
Yeah.
Now that's fun. It's all of a sudden very fun in Chicago. And by the way, that division is not good.
It's not. You can be worst to first in a moment.
Lions are trying to do it.
Well, they could probably do it. Any part of this, even though this is a different regime completely, but do you think any part of this is Cam Newton 2.0?
Yeah, I mean.
And my question would be why? Because the collegiate careers did not match up. And granted, he had a better combine than Cam Newton did.
Cam Newton won a national championship.
And then he won a junior college national championship. Or, was it JUCO? Yeah.
He did that first, technically, but yeah. But, I mean, that's the obvious comparison. Listen, the Panthers were hot on Richardson at the combine. Met with him. All the stuff we heard that the Panthers are in on Richardson. And then they traded for the number 1 pick. It is the obvious connection to make. Dan Orlovsky says it's his gut feeling. He doesn't know anything. He says his gut feeling. That's why I said it on Brent Friends. I was like, it's Richardson, right? I can't believe it would be.
That'd be so wild.
And this doesn't... Now, the owner of the Panthers is a big splash guy. Frank Reich doesn't seem like that to me.
Yeah.
Frank Reich is like, let's be steady, let's be solid.
So what, you're thinking this was a...
Yeah, I think it's smoke. I think it's Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. It has to be. It has to be. I don't know. It's why. Either way, it's fun. I just hope we don't know. Right? Because now there's people saying, we'll find out. Because they can tip their hand if they want now. They got the pick. They're getting their guy.
Yeah. But what is the... Nah. I don't think that they would do that just in general, even if they had their guy, because you never know what not saying something can do.
Sure.
And maybe with even somebody in their own division. I guess they felt like they had to make a move. I mean, Derek Carr doesn't shake the world up, but, you got Derek Carr on the Saints, and I guess the Saints look like they would probably be the favorite.
Oh, the Saints are the favorite. Absolutely.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that the struggle in Tampa and Atlanta and Carolina. They're just like, hey, if we're going to compete with another team that went 7-10 like us last year, what are we going to do?
It's a good point. And it's a bad division, but you need help on offense with your rookie quarterback. You can't give your rookie quarterback nothing. They gave Trevor Lawrence next to nothing. You saw what happened. It wasn't good. You need to surround your rookie quarterback with high-level players. So trading away your wide receiver 1 to get the quarterback is certainly an option. Is it the best one? Who knows? But the question is now, when you've gotten rid of your number 1 receiver, who's a big salary cap hit, you have a good defense that you didn't have to move off of here. Brian Burns is still on your team. Your top-tier defensive players are still there. You drafted a left tackle. So your cap situation, you can make some things happen. Estimated 23.5 after DJ Moore's gone. Smells like a receiver. And the amount of tight ends that are available, feels like you could get 2 of them.
Yeah.
It could flip for Carolina. But if it doesn't, and you send your rookie quarterback out there with Laviska Shenault and Terrace Marshall, it's going to be tough. Slim pickings. Bad wide receiver free agent year, too. Man, it's fun, though. What a day. The Bears have traded the number 1 pick to Carolina. Who will the Panthers take?
Adam Thielen on line 1. Talking
Adam
about the wide receiver.
Is a good call.
Free agents. Oh, you said they were bad. He wants to talk to you in the break.
I forgot about Adam Thielen.
Okay.
Like Adam Thielen.
I'll pass the message along then.
Yeah, just tell him he's good.
Okay.
I like Adam Thielen.
All right.
But, just saying. Carolina's going to need some help with that rookie quarterback. But what a day in the NFL. The number 1 pick's traded. Who's going to go get pick number 3? Sure, we'll find out before the draft. But right now, we know Carolina is on the clock. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. We're on the clock because we're here till 7 o'clock. And we're back after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers and heavy thunderstorms this evening, clearing skies and turning cooler later tonight, dropping to near 50 degrees by morning. Sunny, breezy, and much cooler, but nice for your Saturday with afternoon highs in the mid-70s. From the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Now get 0% interest for 5 years with nothing down.
Anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tampa. One jackpot is paid out every minute on the hottest slot machines and table games. With over $2 billion in jackpots paid out in the last year, you could be the next lucky winner. Seminole Hard Rock Tampa has over 800 rooms and suites, a luxurious rock spa and salon, award-winning restaurants, and an exciting comedy and concert lineup, including pool parties with world-renowned artists. With a variety of gaming, dining, and entertainment options, anybody can win at Seminole Hard Rock Tampa.
You ready? Then get set and go to the Ready, Set, Go event, even on pre-owned at Arlington Toyota. That's all makes, all models, all colors, shapes, and sizes, all specially priced during the Ready, Set, Go event at Arlington Pre-Owned. Plus, our friends over at Arlington give you 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it. With over 400 pre-owned on the lot, you better get Ready, Set, Go to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Ground-shaking forces return to Gainesville Raceway for the NHRA season opener this weekend with rising stars.
Tony Stewart Racing has entered the history books,
and racing legends.
John Forrest collects his 155th career victory.
Don't miss this action-packed weekend. Kids 12 and under are free. Get your tickets today at NHRA.com for the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals this weekend at Gainesville Raceway.
American Window Products offers free low-E coating on select windows at an affordable price that can help reduce your energy usage with 12 months zero-interest financing. Visit AmericanWindowProducts.com for a free estimate.
Financing available at time of sale for new orders only.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8214. 904-664-8214. That's 904-664-8214.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with limited quantity deals on select performance PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Save on select Vostro laptops with built-in security features and select Latitude laptops with enhanced privacy, collaboration, and connectivity. Save on select essential accessories plus free shipping and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-251-2305. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-251-2305 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-251-2305 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-251-2305.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690 on a Friday. Players Championship week turning into weekend. Play suspended out there at TPC Sawgrass, though. A couple hours of go due to the rain. Morning wave got done. A lot of guys with 9 or more holes to play, though, on the golf course. They'll have to finish that up in the morning and then make the cut and then go into the Saturday round. So lots of golf coming up on Saturday at TPC Sawgrass if you are heading out there. A lot of golf and later tee times for round 3 than originally expected. Brian Middleton, Kasey Kurtz, overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. The Bears trade the number 1 overall pick. We just talked a lot about it. And what happens now? I guess we will find out little by little information. But one thing that we agreed on in the break is the Panthers got to do something because this is a tough roster on offense. Don't have a lot of picks left to trade since you got rid of most of them, but find a way to get wide receivers and tight ends and running backs into this offense because you have a defense that's pretty good. Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, J.C. Horn. There's players there. And you're looking around that division. Saints are probably going to be all right. Do you believe in Kyle Trask? I do. Not everybody does. So what are the Bucs going to look like, who are still $50 million over the salary cap? Do you believe in Desmond Ridder and the Falcons? You have a defense that can shut most of those teams down. You have to be able to score points, though, and put players around your rookie quarterback. So moves to be made for the Carolina Panthers still. What can they do will be an interesting thing to see, but we know they will have the number 1 pick in the draft now after a trade with the Chicago Bears. We move along, though, the show, and we cash it or trash it on a Friday.
Cash it or trash it.
Tell them to bring me my money.
On Action Sports Jacks Overtime.
All right, Kasey Kurtz, let's hop right into it, all right? First one. It's being reported
that the Bears traded the pick.
Not true. That former Jaguars running back James Robinson will become a free agent after the Jets opted against using a tender on him. Cash it or trash it, James Robinson will be a running back 1 on the depth chart for a team at the start of a season within the next 3 years and not because of injury.
Trash it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The Jets thought it was better off to have him non-active when they had their starting running back tear his ACL. They were playing an undrafted Zonovan Knight instead of James Robinson. So, listen, I think James Robinson will have moments still in the NFL. He's not done in the league. He will be the guy that is on a team that you will pick up in fantasy when you handicap with whoever the starter is. And he will have games in the league still that he goes over 80 yards rushing with a touchdown. It will happen, but it won't happen on a consistent basis. Nobody is signing on to James Robinson, I don't think, to be their number 1. He will have moments, and because of injury, he will play. That's how running backs do in this league. He will have big games still. He's not a starter, I don't believe, for somebody to sign on and say, this is our guy, our number 1. You feel good probably if James is in your room because you've seen what he's done. He has talent. He has skill. He's nobody's number 1, Brian. I just don't see it.
Tough but fair. Next up, 13-year vet Devin McCourty announced his retirement today. The 36-year-old played 13 years in New England, is a 3-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Pro Bowler, and a 3-time second-team All-Pro. Cash it or trash it, McCourty is a surefire Hall of Famer.
Surefire?
Surefire Hall of Famer.
35 interceptions in his career. No. Trash it.
Man, what's the brother got to do around here to get a gold jacket?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When it comes down to DBs and, like, safety, the Super Bowls are going to carry weight, sure, but, like, the number of interceptions at 35 just doesn't feel big enough to me there. I know the being on the dynasty teams will carry weight, but, like, surefire? Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, not surefire. Like, there's surefire Hall of Famers, and then there's Hall of Famers.
And he ain't one of the surefires.
Nah.
He a Hall of Famer, though.
I don't know.
Oh.
Also, I didn't realize this. He got traded for a pick that was Des Bryant.
Oh.
Just looking at the sports reference page for the interceptions. Yeah, nah, bro, nah.
All right. Wow. Next up, the Dolphins will exercise the fifth-year option on Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
Sorry.
good one.
Sources confirmed with ESPN today. Cash it or trash it. The Miami front office needs to search for their franchise QB still because it's not Tua.
Trash it.
Having a little faith.
They're clearing money for something, though. There's been restructures in Miami. There's been releases in Miami. They're clearing space for something. But Tua has proven when healthy, he's pretty good. The problem is the health part. I think you should be searching for the best backup quarterback that's ever played the sport because he's bound to play at some point in time. And you can't rule out the possibility that after all that Tua has been through, he might decide to hang it up, which wouldn't be a bad decision for my money. He's been through a lot. There's a lot of life to live still for Tua. But I don't think you replace that guy because when he's in there, he puts up crazy numbers. Jalen Waddle helps. Tyreek Hill helps. You can win with Tua. The health is the problem. So I think you go find and overpay a backup quarterback who's probably not a backup quarterback, could be a starter, but a guy that's ready to go in, and you see what happens with Tua this year. But I don't think you can replace him unless he wants to go, as in out of the NFL.
I feel like Miami's also in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. We
No
just
way.
don't know it yet. We just don't know it yet. You said it yourself, man. Something big. Who says that something big is this year?
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. Next up, Kasey. Anyone has seen the Kevin Durant injury to his ankle that happened this week when he slipped on a wet spot on the floor. Cash it or trash it. Phoenix Suns owner Kasey Kurtz would have had to fire at least 2 people for that situation.
At least 2?
At least 2 people for that situation.
Cash it.
There we go.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Here's who would have been fired.
Okay.
In order.
All
Let me write this out so I make sure I'm making sense of it.
All right.
Kevin Durant slipped on, not Kevin Durant.
Okay. Wow.
Kevin Durant slipped on water on the floor, correct?
Yeah.
There are how
Wet
many
spot.
people that are supposed to take care of that during the games? There's like 2 on each side, right?
That's the warm-ups, but yeah.
Okay, all 4 of you are gone.
That's 4. Hold on. Okay.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Then they probably have a boss or 2. So I'm going to assume that there's probably 2 higher level people before you get to the main boss. They're gone.
Wow. Them 2?
Yeah. I'm going to then fire the main boss of Ball Boy Wet Spot Patrol.
All right.
So right now, you're looking at roughly 7 people that are going to be fired. I'm then going to the first person that I've been annoyed with today, and you're also fired. So it looks like a total of 8 people would be fired for the Kevin Durant ankle thing. And that's on the low side. Because then if somebody talks back, you're getting it as well. So I guess maybe 9. But yeah, what a disaster, huh?
That was wild.
I mean, what a disaster. Like, here's the crazy part. If the person thought they still had their job, I would have been upset. Like, you just wiped it up and then sat back down.
Yeah.
No, you get out of here.
I knock it off.
Like, whatever you brought and put in like your little cubby hole while you're out there on the floor, you don't get to keep it anymore.
Wow.
You're being escorted out of the building and trespassed.
That's amazing that you have figured out the way you were going to fire people. I just asked how many people were going to get fired. You're like, no, these are the steps in which I would let them go as well.
Anybody who potentially was involved with that situation or at least has on their name badge something to do with ball, boy, whatever, floor, wet spot, wiper, sweeper person, you're all gone. You are all cleared out.
How much are you paying these people that have 8 titles to
I'll
their
tell
job?
you what, I'm gonna bring in people that know how to clean the floor when it's wet and Kevin Durant's warming up.
Oh boy, that must
Unbelievable.
have been a rough conversation with the owner and whoever he was talking to, supervisors and whatnot.
Unbelievable.
Next up, Kasey, back to the Jets. Notable members of the New York Jets, including Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall, are actively recruiting Aaron Rodgers on social media. Cash it or trash it. You low-key hope Zach Wilson has a better season this next season because all of this is out of pocket by his teammates.
Trash it.
Oh, you don't wish it. Okay.
I mean, listen, I don't really wish for anything with the Jets. I don't really care how it plays out. But Zach Wilson won't have a better season because he won't play. Like, I mean, in theory, you could say that's a better season because, like, he's not going to be bad and have that whole thing happen to him. But, like, Zach Wilson's not playing quarterback for the Jets. It'll be a number of people. Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy G, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold again, any of the 4 quarterbacks in the draft who the Jets could trade up for, any of the other quarterbacks who they could sit at 13 or get in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. Who else is available? Matt Ryan.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. Who else is available? Marcus Mariota, Teddy Bridgewater, Tyrod Taylor.
All kinds of people.
Zach Wilson should not be playing quarterback for the Jets. He just won't be. It will be Aaron Rodgers. But, yeah, nah.
What would you do if you were Zach Wilson?
Keep collecting your paycheck, and hopefully they ask you not to play.
What if you were Zach Wilson, you ended up for some reason playing well next season, and this is Kasey Kurtz inside the body of Zach Wilson, pause. But you feel what I'm saying? Like, what would you be able to hug it out with Sauce, with Breece, with all the guys who are actively recruiting?
No.
Like, no, we not good. We wear the same jersey. That's cool. Call the plays, run the play. But
yeah. If I started lighting it up like I was Zach Wilson, I would turn into the villain quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd be like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
We not boys.
And then I would keep track of where the incentives were for, like, my teammates. And, like, when Garrett Wilson's one catch away, I just wouldn't throw it to him.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Just the whole game.
And then I'd be like, trade me to Arizona for Kyler so we can just get this whole thing over with.
So I'm about to cut up if y'all keep me here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kasey, that's it for Cash It or Trash It.
Cash or Trash It on a Friday this time. Championship Belt Friday, the championship rounds. And we go to the last round of the show right after this.
Football season in the rear view. It's golfing season now. The countdown to the players is on. Before you watch, make sure you play. And don't play golf in Jacksonville without the Dream 18 card. Save on greens fees on some of the best golf courses in the area. Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, The Yards, Amelia River Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Buy it now for just $69 and save hundreds of dollars at Action Sports Jacks. Dream18.com. I'll see you on the golf course.
As a business owner, wouldn't it be nice if you could eliminate all the waste on advertising to people who just aren't ready to buy from you? What if you could spend your marketing dollars talking solely to people who are ready to buy a product you sell? Cox Media Group has a very large database to help you reach those exact people. Cox Media Group offers a program called Omni-Channel that starts with an email to your ideal customer who's ready to buy now, and then once they open the email, they will start seeing your message on Facebook and through display ads and video ads. Let us answer any questions you have by heading to cmg.com to find out more. That's cmg.com.
On average, an artificial limb for a child starts at $5,000, and the first prosthetic for an adult can cost up to $50,000, making it nearly impossible for disabled children or veterans to afford the limb they need. At Life Giving Limbs, we cover the cost of these prosthetics, giving recipients a chance at receiving a new limb and a new start on life. Please help by donating now. Visit lifegivinglimbs.com or call 469-601-8523.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
It's transition time to the spring season on the campus of the University of North Florida. Busy time to swoop. Baseball, softball, tennis, beach volleyball, track and field. Something for everyone at UNF. Find the schedules, results, the stories of the student athletes, and buy tickets at UNFOspreys.com. Plus, be an Osprey supporter and help get scholarships fully funded at UNF. Giving Day is coming up on March 22nd. And check out the strategic plan of the future for UNF athletics. You can find all that at UNFOspreys.com.
Hey, poker players. The Run Good Poker Series is making a stop at Best Bet Jacksonville from March 23rd to April 2nd. The Run Good Poker Series features 9 poker events, including the $1,200 No Limit Hold'em main event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool, and event number 1, $400 No Limit Hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Win your way in through satellites going on all month. Check out the tournament structures at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
When people ask how I do it all, the answer is simple. I don't, because some days I just can't. And on those days, I hit up McDonald's, sometimes even twice a day. Once for breakfast, like a buttery sausage biscuit or a savory sausage McMuffin. And I'll bundle either pick with hash browns for just $2.29. Then I'll be back later for either a melty McDouble or a bold hot and spicy McChicken. And bundle that with a small fries for just $3.29. Turns out you don't need to do it all to have it all. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid when product served.
No matter what I get, it's 20% off every day when I spend $1 on the McDonald's app. So yesterday was my please the whole fam on the way to the game meal. Today is my finally get them to stop asking, are we there yet meal. Who knows what tomorrow will be? Maybe a delicious crispy chicken sandwich all for myself meal. Whatever it is, it's a win. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through December 31st, 2023 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. McD app download and registration required.
I don't know about you, but freshening up my house for spring is one of my favorite times of the year. That's why I'm so glad I made a stop at Kohl's, where I was able to save 25% off must-haves from Sonoma Goods for Life. Like new decor for my living room and the softest sheets for my bedroom. Plus, I got an extra 15% off. So if you want to spend less on your spring home refresh, you know where to go. Select styles. Offers end March 12th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Are you ready for a great deal? Do you have your heart set on a new Toyota? Then go to the Ready, Set, Go sales event happening now at Arlington Toyota. Of course, at Arlington, you get Ready, Set, Go deals and more, like 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. But you better shop now before Ready, Set, Go is gone. Don't wait. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690 for a couple more minutes on a Friday. We get out of here after this, but do the sports books know what's going to happen for the Carolina Panthers? Your new betting favorite at minus 175 to be the first pick in the draft? CJ Stroud.
Hey.
Also, from Dove Kleiman, a guy that we feature a lot on our tweet segment on Brent Friends. He tweeted, the sense around the league is the Panthers will be drafting Ohio State QB CJ Stroud, according to league insiders. He then tagged the Carolina Panthers reporter, insider, however you want to look at it. And not confirmation, but also that same sentiment on that Twitter page as well. So if there's smoke, is there fire? Could CJ Stroud be the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers? Vegas thinks so. Sounds like some NFL insiders think so. I will be very annoyed if the Houston Texans still somehow end up with Bryce Young. But it was still a busy day around here.
Really was.
You believe the insiders, Brian Middleton? I know it would make you happy. It would make your prediction correct.
I believe the insiders are reporting the information that they're getting. I don't know how
Could be a smokescreen.
factual
There you
the
go.
information is, but I do believe that they are hearing something from people who would be in the know. Yes.
As a South Carolina, not native.
Yes.
You were born in South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm a native of South Carolina.
I thought native was where you had to live. Like
No.
where Florida. Okay, anyway.
Where you from?
You're from South Carolina as a point story. You're a Carolina Panthers fan from the beginning. CJ Stroud being the quarterback of the Panthers would be good, bad, happy, sad?
No, I think that'd be really good. I think that would be really good.
Better than Bryce Young.
Personally, I think it's going to be a coin flip. I'm kind of like the same on that one, but I think most people would lean towards CJ.
There you go. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton for the week. We are back on Monday. For Brian Middleton, I'm Kasey Kurtz. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?